Okay, so we've got 3 runs with 2 times.
2 time runs, 1 back. 2, 1 and 3. Only one? No, because it's 2
Yeah, that's I've still got small
I can hear you on his radio. I know you're fucking big at this. Try again, Dave. Yay!
It's worrying in it. So it's gone through his head, round, and come back into his.
Then straight through and back again.
Lunch break, and you're enjoying the lovely food and drink that we have to offer here at Shelsley Walsh. Great morning of runs this morning, fantastic to see. Cars already into the 23 seconds, and it's only practice for the main meeting. And we've also had already the first, will have their second practice run of the day, before then having their timed runs tomorrow. So we've got all the marshals back on post after their lunch. And by the way, incidentally, whilst we've got a minute, thank you ever so much to all the marshals for being here and for helping and for making sure the meeting runs so smoothly. We cannot go motor racing without our marshals. So thank you ever so much, marshals. And also, if you're here and you're interested in getting involved in motorsport and getting involved in marshalling, it's such a fantastic way to be right on the front line involved. Have a chat to them. They're all very friendly and love to talk about their experiences as marshals, and they'll talk to you about how you could become a marshal at your local club. So do have a word with them. So we've got flags in here at the bottom of the hill. We have a Pilbeam MP92 fired up in the paddock with the big bellowing 7-litre V8. This car, basically there was a space frame version of this car built to race at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and someone went to Pilbeam and said, would you mind awfully building me a carbon fibre tubbed version for hill climbing, which is exactly what this is. So this is the carbon fibre tubbed version of the Le Mans car, but with a big 7-litre V8 in the back of it. Sounds fantastic, driven by the Penroses, and it's on the line now. Robert Penrose on the line, drops the clutch, comes past me, rockets past me, already into Kennel. Big spit of flame as it goes through Kennel. Heads up towards Chris Ponsford, who may still be on his lunch.
No, he's here.
He's there. Hello, Chris.
He's here. Yes, but Bob Penrose. That's hard to say. That sounded like Jethro then. Bob Penrose in that Pilbeam. Anyway, he's on his way up to the top of the hill, and I don't think Lloyd's there yet.
I think Lloyd's still climbing the hill after lunch, but Robert Penrose heads up the hill towards the finish and crosses the line now to do a 34.09. Alan Davies now on the hill in the BMW Z4. Very pretty little coupe, going well, and with you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, we were talking about this one just prior to lunch, actually, myself and Lloyd, whether they're good buy. I really think they're great.
They're lovely, aren't they?
Fabulous little thing. Yeah, he's on his way through the S's now, heading up towards the hill. No dramas thus far.
Nice and neat and tidy through the S's, uses all the road on the exit of the S's, heads towards the finish line, powering up the finishing straight now. crossing the line with a 36.51. Melvin Cox now on the hill in the Mark 1 MX-5, going well.
Yes, I just realised you, of course, have got live stream, haven't you?
Yeah.
You see, so you're seeing everything that's happening. So even though Lloyd is still handling the hill, you're seeing everything. So he's approaching bottom S, but I don't need to tell you that, do I?
Well, not me, but I'm very lucky. I've got all the screens. Did you think I could see all the way to top S from you? Like, that's good commentating. How's he seen through the trees?
You are a commentating god, Billy.
Well, that's very kind. Melvin Cox on the way to the finish in the Mazda MX-5. We've got Norman Snowden now on the hill with you in another MX-5.
Yes, we've got a little clutch of MX-5s, haven't we? And yeah, good popular choice now for starting hill climb too. Relatively inexpensive, lots of them around. Nice little simple configuration of engine into bottom S now, and over to you.
Yeah, through the S's, and I'll get you the time for the Mazda when it crosses the line. But already with you is Brian Marshall and this lovely Marcos Mantilla.
Yes, I do like this.
It's
He's
cool,
actually is one of our marshals too. Actually, he's probably here with his wife, and but he does campaign this old car, and it's rather unusual. Don't see many of them at all, do we?
No, I know that they did 4-cylinder versions of a very similar looking Marcos that race historically on circuit racing, but this is the V8 version. Sounds brilliant, goes very well indeed. The time for Melvin Cox, incidentally, was a 43.15. Norman Snowden did a 48.35. Brian Marshall does a 40.05, and with you now is Stuart Watson.
Yeah, this soft top version. Yeah, again, a popular choice, aren't they? I know Lloyd knows all about the generations of them, but nevertheless, MX-5 picked one up for about 4 or 5 grand, a nice example.
Yeah, this is a Gen 3. He said it might be a Gen 3.5, so they may have done a facelift. But third Gen 3 MX-5, lovely car, most successful sports car of all time in terms of cars sold. He's across the line in a 39.09. An MGB Roadster, Robert Orford, with you.
Yeah, we don't see many of these. Actually, they're quite elderly cars now, aren't they? But the MGBs have been rebuilt in various forms. In fact, they were reshelling them at one time, weren't they? Was it Heritage MGBs?
Yeah, you can get the Resto mod versions now are becoming more and more popular, but lovely little sports car, and Robert drives it very well. Next on the hill, we've got a Morgan Plus 8, made very locally to here, of course, in Worcester.
Yeah,
Great Malvern, sorry.
Great Malvern, indeed, yeah. So this is the growling V8 model with the Rover engine, the V8 Rover engine that they fitted into the various Rover cars, but they put them into these very lightweight Morgans, and very successful they've been too.
Yes, driving it very nicely indeed. Incidentally, the time for Robert Orford in the MGB was a 38.99. Rob Toon in the Morgan crosses the line now to do a 35.41. Rob Pack is now on the hill in the TVR Tuscan, going very well.
Ex-Tuscan Cup car. He's rebuilt this car. Actually, he works a big car dealership down in Tewkesbury, and knows his way around a car and drives it like he stole it.
Yes,
this one.
he does indeed. Very nice and quick through the S's. Incidentally, Rob Toon has the fastest time of the class so far on a 35.41, but this will get close. 33.37 takes the lead of the class. Gordon Pierce on the hill now in the Cayman S.
Yes, the Cayman S. I mean, the Cayman is the smaller brother of the say the 966s and the like, but nevertheless a much cheaper version, but jolly quick for all that. And various engine denominations. Robbie Birrell is here today. They've got a very, very quick Cayman with about 500 brake.
That's a monster, that car. But Gordon Pierce in the Cayman S does a 37.16. Incidentally, by the way, there was a rumour that the power of the Cayman was kind of cut. It was sort of restricted really by Porsche because they didn't want it to be faster than a 911 because the engine's in the middle or more in the right place than out the back. It would have been quicker. So yes, they didn't want their junior car being quicker than their senior one. Was the rumour. Mike Brakes with you in the Ford Fiesta.
Yeah, popular little choice too, these, because there's loads of these around, isn't there? The ST150, I think that denoted about 150 brake horsepower. I think most of them ran as at 1600s or 2-litre engines, pretty much the same as they chucked in a Mondeo, I reckon.
Very quick, lovely little car, and the ST range Ford do fantastically well. They really are brilliant cars. And as Mike heads towards the finish, we've got Chris Westwood on the hill in the Lotus Elise.
Yes, this is the one that's bedecked out with the white decals and the purple bodywork, and actually very nice. Most of these ran little Rover K series engines, didn't they? And actually mid-engined, I think, well, mid or rear, Billy?
Mid, yeah, mid-engined. They had K-series engines originally, as you said. I believe this is a K-series one. Then they've Toyota engines after that. But yeah, you're right, this is a K-series one. Lovely little car. Into the sub 40-second club, so 39.96 for Chris. Mike Brakes in the Fiesta did a 45.02, and on the hill now is Matthew Wood in the MG ZR. Actually, very nice little ZRs. Lovely, yeah.
They're great little cars, actually, and well, they're going up in value now, aren't they? But that little 16-valve engine they pop in the front of them works very well indeed. Yeah,
I think it's a K-series in the ZR as well, so same as the Lotus, incidentally. Anyway, next on the hill we've got George Perks in the Clio 182 Cup with you.
Yes, a few Clios in the paddock today. I know Lloyd was eulogising about them earlier. He knows all about it, but they are great fun little cars. Front-wheel drive. The 182 denotes 182 brake horsepower, so in a small body like that, that's always going to be good entertainment.
It is a great hill climb car, and George driving it very well, using all the road as he comes out of top S. Incidentally, Matthew Wood did a 42.10 in the MG. What can George Perks do? He can do a 38.74, quickest of the class so far. Next on the hill, Christopher Wood in the turbocharged Mazda MX-5 Mark 1 Unos, so a grey import from Japan this. He's with you.
Yeah, he's nipping along too, to be fair. Turbocharged versions. Some of these little Mazdas with the turbos, I know examples that have got around about 400 brake horsepower, so extremely quick. A bit smoky into bottom S, I think.
Might have, yes, could have just done if it was a lock of a wheel or something, but or maybe slightly on the overrun, bit of oil burn. But off goes Christopher Wood. Up the finishing straight, crosses the line, 37.14. Will Goff on the hill now in the Alfa Romeo. Had an issue this morning. Sounds okay today so far on this run.
Yes, so far so good. Looking okay, actually. Will Goff, I think these are stunning looking cars, these 4C Alphas. Very successful too on the hills now these days, aren't they? They mix it with Porsches.
Yeah, right. Is it Rodney Isles that competes in one as well?
Yeah, Rodney's very, very rapid in his one, isn't he?
He is indeed. Next on, so as we get a time, for Will Goff, 38.36. Nick Powell on the hill now in this yellow Subaru, which is a colour I more associate with that hot Volvo VTCC estate of the 90s. Do you remember that, Chris?
Well, I more than remember it because I am a Volvo man, but actually the BTT estate, that was the Ricard Rydell 850, wasn't it?
But they did one in yellow.
White and blue. Well, I never saw the yellow one, but the yellow one was the one they did for a customer car, which is now the colour to have.
Yeah,
that's the one they want.
Yeah, no, I never saw a racing yellow one, but my dad, a lad I went to school with, I swear, had a yellow 850R estate, which was really cool at the time.
Yeah, no, they are cool. And here comes the Audi TT. This is Graham Godfrey. Graham's a local man, actually. He's not, I think he's Tenbury Wells, actually. And the Audi TT is a good, popular choice for cheap hill climb car.
Yeah, great hill climb car. Already through the S's, working his way up towards the finish nicely. Time, by the way, for Nick Powell in the yellow Subaru is a 41.52. Tom Magnay on the hill now in another Clio.
Yes, this one, he's from Hereford. It's the first time I met him actually today. It's a 172. He also goes rallying as well, and he's in his first season on the hills. And I think Lloyd said this is a non-factory colour, but it's been repainted in grey. It looks nice.
It does indeed. He's on his way up the hill. Time, by the way, for Graham Godfrey was a 37.35. Tom Magnay crosses the line in a 39.20. Nigel Mee is now on the hill in another Impreza.
Yeah, we love the Imprezas. Permanent four-wheel drive, rapid turbocharged engines, handle very well indeed. This is like the Colin McRae colours, but it's slightly lighter version, isn't it? I've got course car on the hill.
Yeah, that's the end of the batch. So we're waiting in time for Nigel Mee. He crosses the line in a 36.57. And that's the end of the batch. So we're going to have those cars come back down the hill. And then we're going to have a batch of Ferraris.
Now I did notice the car in batch 2, car 729. Mark Lawrence is here in the Porsche Cayman that he shares with Robbie Birrell. They were at Harewood last week in their Gould GR59, but they've got the Cayman back out this week. That's the one that's got about 500 brake horsepower. It's an absolute beast of a car, isn't it, that one?
Yes. They have a 59 today, so that is the ex-Moyes car, is it?
Yes.
The red one?
Yes, that's the one. That's the one with the, I think it's a turbocharged Hayabusa? Supercharged. Yeah, well, he had it going pretty well last weekend. So, yeah, it's this... just looking now, that's not... yeah, they have that one going well. It's a very quick piece of kit, but this Porsche is also extremely rapid. Here's my mate Jim Smith. You've made it back up the hill, Jim. Well done, old chap. He's been down for refreshments down the bottom there. But he's young and fit anyway, is young Jim.
Well, do you know that Lloyd is cheating and he's in the course car going up the hill?
Lloyd's in the... Oh, he's a cheater, see. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Well, he's already walked up there the once. He's obviously a bit worn out, the old boy, isn't he?
Yes. So,
no course car for my man Jim Smith here.
No.
He's my fishing partner, you know, when we go sea fishing. But we haven't been for a bit, Jim, have we?
You're quite a big fisherman, aren't you?
Well, I'm quite big anyway, and I'm certainly a fisherman.
Yeah, I didn't say quite big and a fisherman.
Well, I have a bit of both, actually, to be fair. Yeah, I wouldn't dispute that one.
You like your fishing, though?
Oh, I do. I'm a big fan, you know. As anywhere, he's a big lad, you know. So, but we do love our fishing. I was out this week. I went to Shatterford Lakes catching a nice mixed bag of fish. I won't bore you with the technical details, but we had a lovely day out.
Do you keep them and cook them, or do you put them back?
No, they strictly go back. They go back. Yeah, I think probably the last time I knocked a fish on the head probably was a trout or something, you know, years ago. But no, with course fishing, it is essentially we put them back. We're there for the pleasure. Yeah. And it's lovely. But this is the thing that gets me, keeping me awake at night, Billy. You know, looking forward to these type of meetings. I mean, tomorrow, if this sun comes out, you know, it could be a special day. It could be. Yes,
it could very much be. I've spoken to a lot of the drivers. It's definitely more grippy than it was when we were here 2 months ago, when especially on the first day they said there was just it was a bit green. So a lot more rubber has gone down since then, a lot more grip. Let's hope it stays dry, and as you said, who knows what could happen tomorrow.
Those NASCAR cars have put a lot of rubber down for us at the Classic Nostalgia recently, which was fabulous. And, well, we dare to dream. Do we dare to dream of another hill record? Because, I mean, young Matt Ryder, he smashed the hill record, as we know, at Wiscombe last week. It was just an incredible piece of driving. And Alex Summers broke the hill record as well, didn't he?
He did. He got under the old record.
So
you get a point for that, because the record...
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So basically the hill record... It stands at the beginning of the meeting. So if you break the hill record during the meeting in a runoff, but you break the hill record as it was at the beginning of the meeting, you get a point. So Matthew Ryder got 2 points out of Wiscombe because he broke the record twice in the 2 runoffs. And Alex got 1 extra point because he did break the record as it was at the beginning of the meeting.
Oh, well, that's a bit of further information I didn't know.
Yep.
We had a dead heat, you know, last year at Prescott on a runoff. I
remember.
Yeah. I was commentating. It was incredible. Scotty and Matthew, wasn't it?
There was one here a few years ago.
Was
going
there?
Back a while. It was Chris Merrick, who, by the way, incidentally, I've seen here today.
Oh, and wonderful.
Was it Chris and Scott? I can't remember who the other driver was, but Chris was dead heat win. Anyway, flags are in. Michael Thompson on the hill now in the Lotus Exige. You're not going to miss this on a cloudy day, are you?
No, but this is the car it belongs to his wife, Zoe Shearman, and Michael also owns an S2000 Honda that held class records, but Michael's driving this one, and very well indeed.
He is indeed, and he's with me now. This wonderful Exige. They are so aggressive, and so I think that's a supercharged version of that Toyota engine in the back of that one. Going very well indeed.
And he crosses the line, 34.19. Robert Wilson on the hill now in the Lotus Elise, top down racing with the roof down.
Indeed, top down, eating an ice cream, having a sandwich as he's going up. Anyway, that's the way to go racing on a sunny day, isn't it? Into bottom S.
Yeah, these guys used to race that a manic little 205 in red. It was not a GTI, but it had GTI running gear, and they've since moved to this Lotus Elise, which they're getting very comfortable in, it must be said.
Time for Robert Wilson, 34.42. Mark Lawrence on the hill now in the monstrous Cayman we were talking about a little earlier.
Yeah, here he comes. This is a monster car. 500 horsepower in that little Cayman. Now, I think, if I'm right, it's a 4-cylinder job. Is that right, Lloyd?
Yeah, so this is the car shared with Robbie Birrell. So obviously Robert Lancaster Gay and Richard Snow are having their own little Cayman GT4 battle, and then Robbie Birrell's come in with two less cylinders but a turbocharger and really throwing the cat amongst the pigeons there.
And he crosses the line 33.10, 33.10. Quick time indeed. Next on the hill, we've got the Morgan again. So this is the plus 8 again because it's a dual-driven car. Now with Johnny Toon at the wheel. Already with you.
Yes, there is indeed. What's not to like about a Morgan made locally in Malvern? At one time, you couldn't buy one of these. There was a waiting list to buy these way back in the day, wasn't there? But now are they still selling more?
Oh yeah, they've still got a waiting list. They're doing very well indeed.
They're better than ever, I think, with the BMW, because they're BMW running gear now. So they've got that 6-cylinder B58 with 400 odd horsepower, and then they've got the 4-cylinder BMW engine as well. So you can have autos, manuals, all sorts. So they're in good health, I think, Morgan, at the moment.
Well, that's encouraging to hear.
Crosses the line. That's Johnny Toon and a 35.20. We await a car. I think we're awaiting the Pilbeam again with now Bob Penrose installed. I can see him in the car with what must be Robert stood next to it.
I'm showing no time. I'm showing no time for Mark Lawrence. Have you got a time?
33.1 for Mark Lawrence.
Yeah, 33.10 for Mark Lawrence. And then Johnny Toon in the Morgan did a 35.20. It's a good time there from Mark Lawrence. But we await the Pilbeam, which has not yet fired into life.
How do you start that car? Does it take it? Is it a auxiliary job, or is it a button in the car? Or
we used to, with the top single seaters, they wouldn't have onboard starter batteries. They were just too heavy. But they changed the rules in COVID, actually. Where you had to have an onboard start, you had to be able to start it on board. So they have a little lithium-ion battery on board, but often you can still plug in as well. So that one definitely had a plug in because I could see it from here. So yes, probably needed a bit of extra juice from the auxiliary battery.
Some compression in that engine, isn't there? I would have thought.
Yes. Yeah, I think you use a Suzuki Hayabusa as a starter motor for this. Because that was the case for that land speed record car, wasn't it? That it had a supercharged Jag engine as the starter motor for the jet engine that did then give over to the rocket. What's the
latest with it? That's the Bloodhound project. That's a shame.
Yeah, ran out of money. Bob Penrose on the hill now in the MP92. He's with you.
Yes, he is. I just love this thing. Like a Le Mans car, Le Mans racer back in the day. I know Chris was saying it was specifically built for hill climb.
Yeah.
But either way, 7 litres of V8 power, rumbling to break the commentary box at the top.
It normally does. It's such a big engine in that car, isn't it? And you can just hear those cylinders thumping up and down. But a pop of flame as he changes from 4th to what I assume is 5th, and now 6th, and cross the line.
34.48.
Dougie Cant, a Love Island shortlisted man from Worcester. He's a tree surgeon, and he's in a very rapid little single seat now.
He's going really well indeed. He's fed it through the S's really smoothly, feeds it the gears, he's over the line.
He's getting quicker and quicker. He's into the 28.22. Next on the hill, Martin Duffield in the little Jedi, already with you.
Yeah, I'm very fond of the little Jedis actually. A little 1 litre motorcycle Suzuki engine in the back, but he goes very well in this little car. Just looks alright for the job, doesn't it?
It does, carries brilliant entry speed into bottom S, gets the car lent over, just clips the bank slightly, but no harm done. Just delays his power input to the final straight, and he's over the line now. But I don't think we'll need any sweeping. No, I think we'll be okay. But yeah, just touch the bank slightly. I'm sure you'll get a replay on the live stream.
Time for Martin Duffield, 29.05. Excuse me. Bill Drysdale on the hill now in this lovely Porsche 904 FF Special. What a cool car this is.
It's a cool car, and Bill is a brilliant guy. Do you know what? He's 86 years old. He's 86 years old, driving this fabulous Porsche, still with massive enthusiasm, and great to see him racing.
Indeed. Well, I tip my hat to you, sir. That's absolutely fantastic. As it's such a pretty car, and it's clearly been a labour of love for him for many, many years. And the satisfaction of being able to drive up the hill most weekends is great.
As he heads towards the finish, we've got Ferraris on the hill. We've got Richard Preece in the 430.
We do indeed, yes. It's a nice little clutch of Ferraris in their own little championship. I didn't see David Snelson earlier, did you?
I
didn't know that was he was a 488, but no, I've not seen that. But Richard makes his way into my side, off the power, back on the power, and he's going to use that 6-speed dual clutch gearbox. Sorry, not dual clutch in this one, single clutch gearbox to get himself across the line.
So that is 35.79 for Richard Priest in the 430. Next on the hill, Martin Jones in the Ferrari 360s, the car that came before the 430. With you.
Yeah, again, that unmistakable Ferrari howl, isn't it? Yeah, it sounds absolutely terrific. I must admit, they're big though, aren't they? They're a good sized car if you look at the size of them compared with some of the earlier models.
Yeah, probably not the first thing you think of when you think about hill climbing, but I love that they've got their own championship and they just make it work. It's wonderful, really. It's brave. It is brave. It is brave. But what could I can think of worse things to do than take your Ferraris up a hill in the British summertime.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, we got Anthony Smith just gone by me in the 360, I think it is.
Yep.
Yeah, the 360 Spider with you.
Yeah, indeed, just coming down the box, just turns in slightly early for bottom S, but taking it carefully. The front end rises under the power, and he's sounds great, doesn't it, when he changes gears? There's that appreciable break in power with the old style single clutch gearboxes, but I'm looking forward to the car that comes next.
Heads up towards the finish, crosses the line to go 42.37. Incidentally, the time for Martin Jones in the other 360 was a 42.72. Richard Priest in the 430 did a 35.79. Next on the hill, this is a really special car. This is a Ferrari 458 Speciale with you.
Speciale it is. Lloyd was eulogising about this one earlier. It certainly looks the part, sounds the part, doesn't it? Lots of value in that, is there, Lloyd?
Oh, yes.
Yes, there is. Yeah, you'd be a brave man to hill climb this. So I think it's absolutely fantastic that it's being used in anger properly. It's a proper track special of the 458. It's so collectible. It's so rare. It's worth a very lot of amount of money. And fair play to Rob Samuel.
A very lot of amount of money.
That's a technical
one,
amount.
That's a good one.
It's quick as well, 33.18. Next on the hill, we got Stuart McCabe in the 328 GTB with you.
Yes, so this would be an earlier model, wouldn't it, in fairness, but actually rather nice, a little bit smaller, definitely a little bit smoky as well. I guess it's done a few miles, that car, but couldn't complain about that.
It's just having a little smoking break. It's fine. It's Italian. It's all good. 328 makes his way past me, and yeah, it's what a cool car that is. The old Magnum PI style, but
lovely car.
Yeah, Stuart's across the line.
Great Spanish accent there as well, if I may say.
Thank you very much.
That's what I was going for. 328 GTB. Even outward on the hill now in the Dino, named after Enzo's son, isn't it?
Yes. Well, actually, this one here is the Dino. Well, now they're swapping them around here because the earlier one, the Dino 246 GT, was the one that was rebuilt. This is the one they regularly campaign.
So this is the car. This is the 4-seater one, I think, is it not? That this 308 GT4 could be. Yeah. So always the unloved Ferrari, but coming of age now, I think it's quite cool. So.
Oh, it's quick as well. 39.38. Next on the line, we've got Anthony Atwood in this beautiful 246 GT, the original Dino. What a stunning car this is.
Yes, it is. Actually, Anthony is a retired surgeon. He's cutting his way up the hill, and here he comes now. What a stunning car. Big amounts of money being spent on this, on a restoration, and it's a real treat. In fact, I'm even surprised they even bring it out, I've got to be honest.
Well, he's certainly not... he's certainly hard on it. He's driving it properly. There's a little chirp of locked front brake as it enters bottom S, but gracefully enters and exits the top S and bottom S. That is an absolutely fantastic thing to see.
Heads across the line to do a 41.34. Phil Taylor on the hill now in the Aristocat Jaguar C-Type. Love this car. C-Type, of course, won Le Mans for Jaguar.
Yes, I mean, beautiful thing. This is a replica version using Jaguar running gear as well. It certainly looks the part, and they've done a great job with this car, haven't they?
Beautiful car, yeah.
Yeah, indeed, it was the 50s. I think there was an old story, wasn't there, in the 50s? I think it was in a C-Type Jag where they filled. I think there was Duncan Hamilton. I think they thought he'd be disqualified from the race, so he went to the pub, got absolutely blasted on whiskey, and then told him that he was undisqualified. So he just carried on and raced through the night and entered the race.
That's a 44.01 from Phil Taylor in the C-Type. Next on the hill, the F-Type with David Rogers.
Now this is a much more, this is the F-Type Jaguar, this is a modern Jag, and I tell you, this is a proper thing, because as you say, you were talking about electric Jags earlier. To me that doesn't cut it. A Jag needs a big V8 in it or something similar, Lloyd.
Well, absolutely. Well, this is peak Jaguar for me, along with XKR. I think they were really on form in this phase, but 575 brake horsepower propelling that car across the line.
I would accept a straight 6 in a Jag, and here comes one now, a Jaguar E-Type, Hayden Spedding at the wheel.
Hayden Spedding, yeah, he's campaigned this for some while. I see it on lots of meetings. This is a lovely thing. You've got a classic E-Type. This is a soft top version. What a beautiful, beautiful car.
Yes, you're quite right there, Billy. This is a straight 6 E-Type, bringing a whole new meaning of the word lightweight E-Type, this car for Hayden Speddings, but through the S's, no problem at all, over the line.
Crosses the line to record a 35.48 to go quickest in the Jag class so far today. So those cars are competing in the one-day event that happens today, so those runs are for keeps, I believe. And that is the end of the batch. So I think I can take you through some times if you would like them.
Go, go, go.
So if we go back to the Ferraris, quickest was Rob Samuels on a 33.52. And that was in the... Sorry, he's just on a 33.18. My screen hasn't updated with the third times yet. So I'll give you some times when I have them shortly.
Well, can we just... I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about times that stand out for me, which is Anthony Atwood in that old Dino. 41.34 at 74 miles an hour. That's very. It's a very, very respectable time, considering the two Ferrari 360s went up in a 42.72 and a 42.37 respectively. I think that's fantastic for a Ferrari Dino.
It's light though, isn't it?
Well, I shouldn't say Ferrari Dino, should I? I should just say Dino.
That is impressive though, isn't it?
But I think that's impressive at 74 miles an hour across the line. It's not slow, is it?
No.
Imagine that back in the 60s.
And a retired gentleman of the parish.
Yes.
Is he?
So, yeah. So I think it's great that he brings them back out. And I guess that most of us will remember those type of Ferraris more than the later versions, which... But I did take a fancy to that Jag, the big F-Type.
Well,
They're lovely, aren't they?
So if you had a choice of car from this batch then, because there's some really lovely stuff coming back down the hill towards me now. If you had a choice then, what would you be taking home from that batch? I know what mine would be.
Well, I know you're going to go Speciale.
Yeah, 458 Speciale.
But listen, I don't know anything about them, but it's obviously a very lovely old car. But in a more modern sort of doable car, I think the F-Type Jag would do me.
I'm going to go for the Dino.
It's pretty, isn't it? It's a pretty car. Well, those F-Type Rs, they're fantastic. And I think controversially, I think I prefer the pre-facelift F-Type to the post-facelift F-Type that came out in about 2020.
Do you know what? There's going to be some fierce typing on Jaguar F-Type Owners Club forums now you've said that.
Well, let them type.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Capitals and everything.
I didn't really know much about them, but you might know, Lloyd or Billy. What would I have to pay for an F-Type Jag?
Depends on age and mileage, doesn't it?
And
Engines, yeah.
So they do a V6. They actually... Didn't they do a 4-cylinder one for a while?
They did. The P300 and...
Which is, I think, what they're now worth.
Yes, exactly. Yes, get the...
Don't have a
yes. And now they're going to be typing at you now, Billy, because, my car needs an extra cylinder.
No, I want to know...
2 cylinders.
I want to know a proper one. I don't want any little rubbishy 4-cylinder thing.
I reckon...
a proper one. Give me 5 litres.
I reckon we've offended the entire Jaguar F-Type Owners
about
Club at some point in the last 5 minutes.
Well, listen, we'd like to put it out there straight. We're not going to upset vegans today, because we're not like Chris going to talk about that.
Well, okay, talking about F-Type values then, you'd probably pick up an early F-Type R V8. If you wanted a coupe, you'd probably pay 35-40 grand for that with sub 50,000 miles. If you wanted an F-Type R all-wheel drive, like that one is with 575 brake, that's probably going to be about, I think, 50 grand. So probably privately, you'd probably put one up between early mid 40s, but you go to a dealer with a warranty and everything like that goes with it, probably about late 40s, I would have thought. They've come back quite a lot. Everything has done since COVID. Obviously, back in the days of COVID, everything went crazy, didn't it? But everything's kind of come back a little bit more, and there are deals on the table now.
Oh, interesting. So, yeah, well, at the moment...
but I'd go and get an XKR Dynamic. One of the last. I love an F-Type, but I would go and get an XKR Dynamic because it's got F-Type running gear, but you've got the breadth of ability that an XKR has got, and you can take more stuff with you.
Billy, I think we've now realised, with young Lloyd, never mind this French hot hatchback stuff.
He's a Jag man.
He's actually quietly a proper owner now. He's
I
do language now.
Yeah, I did work for Land Rover and Jaguar for back in the day. I used to sell them when they were new.
Right. We've got a flags in down here, by the way. Sorry, we've got Paul Evans on the hill in the Westfield. He's with you.
He is too. Yes, he is. We've got a little clutch of Westfields here. This one there. Always highly entertaining. This is a non-bike engine version. Lovely roll cage on it. They're safe little cars, really. Very quick. Over to you.
Sounds furious up the hill as he peers into my sight and gets on the brakes and straightens the car up, feeds it the power, and we're heading across towards the finish. Looks a little squirrely on the final straight, if I don't mind me saying, but I'm sure they'll get that sorted.
Well, it's a good time. It's a 34.68. Next on the hill, Joy Hoyle. Joy in the Caterham 7 Super Sprint. She's been campaigning this for a number of years. Very quick in it indeed. She's with you.
She certainly is. Well, of course, Professor Ray Lower owns this car, and he'll be up later on. And he is a professor of mechanical engineering, Oxford, Cambridge, Emirati. He'll be up later.
And with me now, this is one of my favourite cars of a weekend. The engine intake bar with those massive carburettors is just furious. You can feel it sucking the atmosphere in around you as Joy crosses the line.
Time for Joy Hoyle, 32.93. Laura Wardle on the hill in the Porsche now. It's squatted down as it left the line. It's already with you.
Yeah, Laura's come back to racing. She broke her arm in this car earlier in the year, but this is her first drive since she's done that. This car is now 40 years old, was bought in 1985.
Good grief, and look at that time off the line, 2.03. That is nearly the force of gravity off the line there to 64 feet.
That's rear engine traction.
That's a rear engine traction, but super quick and heading off towards finish.
Across the line on a 36.74. Hold on to your hats, Lloyd. There's a Clio on the hill. It's Andrew Feekins.
Oh my God! I don't need to say anything, do I? He's going to go. He's just going to be dribbling up the top there now.
I have a broad church of interest in many a vehicle. And especially this one when it's being driven like this. Fantastic from Andrew. It's proper chuck it in style. Left, right, away we go towards the finish. Good man.
Heads towards the finish now. Crosses the line in a 35.78. Richard Pates on the hill now in the MG ZR with you.
Yes, and you know, these are great little cars, the ZR160, little K-Series engine. They're actually quite a lot of them around. They're going up in value appreciably, actually, to be fair, and they're good, well-built little cars.
Yeah, they are indeed. You could get the ZRs in a 1.4 back in the day with 105 brake, or you could get a more powerful version with 120. But this is the full-fat 1.8 VVC engine, 160 horsepower, I believe, and we're off towards the finish. But yeah, worth a bit of money now, Chris.
Zoe Shearman with you, Chris, in the Lotus.
You now, Lloyd.
With me now, yes, just turning into my sight now, and front end rises under the power of that supercharged Toyota engine, and furiously whirring its way off towards the finish line, and we'll be there in a minute.
Heads across the finish in a 36.21. Lizzie Weaver on the hill now in her Citroen Saxo that her dad and brother borrowed last time we were here because the Empire broke. Do you remember?
Yes, I do remember that. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Lizzie, of course, Tom Weaver's sister and part of the Ludlow Massive.
Absolutely, they were going so well in this car as well, weren't they? It was just absolutely just love to take the abuse, this Saxo, but they are fantastic things. Those 1.6 16 valve engines, they're 120 brake and eminently tunable. They're brilliant across the line.
Time for Lizzie Weaver, 40.81. Good time. Bruce Aitken on the hill now in another Citroen Saxo VTS with you.
They're becoming popular, these little VTSs. He's actually trying very hard in this car indeed. It'll be interesting to see how his time compares with Lizzie. Quite affordable little cars. Get one for about 4 or 5 grand, can't you?
Yeah. They've gone up in value quite a bit now because they are getting ever more collectible. I believe Bruce comes up from somewhere like Dover. He comes miles away to come to Shelsley Walsh, but and he drives the car here and drives it back again.
He does. I had a lovely chat with him in last meeting. He loves his hill climbing. 40.02 for Bruce Aitken. Jonathan Langmead on the hill now in the Lotus Elise.
Jonathan's very rapid indeed in this little car, isn't he? So Jonathan, he's from Kenton. I think he's the golf pro, isn't he?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I didn't know that. Well, he's certainly very good at driving a Lotus Elise through the S's and off towards the finish line, as he does so now.
Crosses the line on a 33.35. David Wilson on the hill now, and the dual-driven family Lotus Elise already with you.
Oh, it's a family one, is it? Yeah, okay. This is the soft top vibe. Yes, he's really close line there through crossing there, and I tell you what, trying hard.
Yeah, David and Robert, they had that little red 205 that was absolutely wrapping up this hill, but they've switched to the Lotus and driving it really well. David just had a little wiggle into bottom S, but collected it all nicely. He's off towards the finish.
Going very nicely, 33.57, 33.57. Next on the hill, I've got a blue Porsche Cayman GT4.
Richard York,
I think it is. Sounds great. 4-litre flat six bellowing away in the back as he disappears through Kennel.
Yes, he does. A well-campaigned car. It's got the old PDK gearbox. 400 brake horsepower in this car. Doesn't it sound it too, to be fair? Apparently it weighs 1,450 kilos. It's got about 285 brake horsepower per tonne.
Yeah, this is the later generation, so this is what they call the 718 variant, and yeah, he's got sporting the PDK. This one was actually an engine that was designed for turbochargers and got deturbocharged for the GT4 application, unlike Richard Snow's car,
which has just left the line. Duncan Andrews has just left the line in front of me. Duncan, with you in another Porsche Cayman GT4.
Yeah, looks the part. They are beautiful, actually. To be fair, in fact, these are the water-cooled versions, aren't they? So they're proper things now, aren't
well, you can hear that it's it's notably louder because this engine was always designed to be naturally aspirated. So there's less filtration. It was a time before Euro emissions, etc., etc. So it sounds much more gruff, but still being driven beautifully across the line.
Across the line, 32.96. Now this is a fantastic sounding car. This is Steve Atkins in the big 4-litre V8 powered BMW M3. Sounds great.
And it looks great, doesn't it? Yeah, actually, I have to say, I am a fan of the BMWs. They certainly produce fantastically well-built cars, particularly in the V8 version. It's a bit special, isn't it?
Yeah, I drove one of these for the first time this year just to see what the fuss was about, and it really does feel like you're driving a 90s DTM car. That engine is just the central focal point, as every M3 should be the case, but beautifully driven by Steve Atkins and over the line.
For a 35.45, Tony Adams now on the hill in the Exige, sorry, with you. Oh, it's Elise, sorry.
Elise, yeah, that's right. Tony Adams, he was pretty wide here through crossing. He got it round. He's certainly trying very hard into bottom S.
Yeah, you can hear he was plenty committed. So this is the later style one. I think this is a Cup 240, so I think this could be supercharged. In fact, yes, it is supercharged. Yeah, it is supercharged. It's super quick. Lovely car. What a great car for hill climbing. Brilliant.
Crosses the line in a 34.75. Simon Tarling on the hill now in the 996 Porsche with you.
Yeah, Simon, this is the I do like the 996. The first of the water-cooled Porsches. This is the 3.6 one. It's 20-year-old and it's got about 300 brake, 80 brake in a manual box.
And that's just a lovely road car, isn't it? I mean, what a wonderful. It's a great hill climb car, but what a lovely car to be able to just open up and not be at the speed limit straight away. You know, you can really rev through the engine and feel that power, but over the line beautifully.
35.64. David Meek on the hill in the VX 220 Vauxhall.
He's flying. Over to you, Lloyd.
God, we're getting through him thick and fast, aren't we? Takes a couple of bites of the cherry as he gets into a couple of corrections on the entrance to bottom S. He's already out of top S, and you can hear that turbo whooshing away as it fires that little car across the line.
Good time, 34.10, 34.10 and 86 miles an hour across the line. Next, we've got another Cayman GT4. Sounds fantastic. This is Richard Snow, complete with Go Faster Stripe. He's with you.
He is indeed. Here comes the stripes. Yeah,
Is it working?
Yeah, it's working very well indeed. I know Richard's got 410 brake in this thing, so it's rapid, so he's already into bottom S.
And he's always super committed on the entrance of bottom S. He really does get that car slowed down beautifully, sporting that fantastic Martini livery. Wonderful through the S. 9.45 through the S sector. That's really quick, and he's across the line.
Richard Snow does a 32.65. Next off the line, we've got Robert Lancaster Gay. This is a Cayman GT4, but he's done some work to this. It's not standard, and it sounds great.
Yeah, well, Robert, I think he had a GT3 before, didn't he? A wide one. But,
an RS, yeah.
This one, I think he's going quicker in this one now. He's got it sorted, and again, he's got over 400 brakes, so it's going to go.
He's arriving in a flash through the S's. He just gets out the power slightly as the back came towards him, but I feel like he's starting to run a few GT4 RS bits on that thing. It sounds very raspy.
Time for Robert Lancaster Gay, 32.72. Now here comes Robbie Birrell to spoil the GT4 party in his very heavily breathed on Cayman GTS.
He could spoil everybody's party in this class, to be fair. Rodney Arles, I don't know if he's here today, but anyway, Robbie, hasn't he got the class record?
He broke the class record last time out. Yeah, it was in the 31s, I think, possibly into the 30s, but he had a bit of an off, I think, a few months ago, so hopefully the car's all in one piece. It feels like it's firing itself on all cylinders and across the line already.
32.14. Next off the line, James Stocks in one of these fantastic Toyota GR Yaris's. I love these.
Yeah, they're popular little things now, aren't they? They're 1600 turbocharged for permanent four-wheel drive, lots of fancy electrical bits on them. Very rapid indeed.
Indeed, the most powerful production three-cylinder engine in the world. And at 265 brake horsepower, they come from standard, I think. But people are starting to mess with them a little bit now. They've got 7-year warranties and 3 differentials. All sorts you can do to these things. That kind of feels like the new Impreza / Evo these days, doesn't it?
Quick time, 37.10. 37.10. Next off the line in front of me, I've got a VW Golf GTI. I've got Peter Richins in the Golf GTI. So it's a Golf R, I apologise, it's an R. He's with you.
He is indeed. Well, he had a Yaris last year. He's here with his wife Joy, who's one of our photographers here, but she also was driving the Yaris last year. But Peter, I asked him why he bought this one. He said, because it's quicker.
Well, that's a good answer, really, isn't it?
It's fair, kind of fair enough, isn't it, that really? And it's certainly looking like he's going well so far. It's a Mark 8 Golf GTI, so it's an auto box and about 300 brake horsepower, and he's across the line already. That is quick.
Good time, 34.94. So just over 2 seconds quicker than the GR Yaris. So your point there, Chris, would seem to hold water, wouldn't it?
I mean, young Peter, he's retired as well, but he used to race Clubmans as well. And he sold his Clubman's car, I think. But either way, he did that until a year or two back. They bought the Yaris, campaigned that for a year or so. Did very nicely, but just obviously fancied a change. So I saw him at the vintage meet yesterday at Chateau Impney, and I asked him exactly that question about why did you get the R? Because they are 300 brake, but obviously they're front-wheel drive. They're not four-wheel drive, are they?
The R is
Golf R is, yeah.
Drive.
Is that a Holdex system?
It's a Holdex system, so it's most of the time. Well, it's four-wheel drive it's front-wheel drive until it needs the rear-wheel drive.
Okay, so that's got it all going on then, hasn't it? And Pete drives it very well. And I've got to tell you, his wife Joy takes amazing photographs, and she's here today.
Hopefully she'll have some great photos to show us.
She will have some great photos, without a doubt. She does a lot, and converts them into black and white. They look really, really good. And she's got a very artistic eye. She spots stuff, you know what I mean? She spots stuff, reflections and all that sort of thing. They're coming back down the hill, so that's the end of that little batch, isn't it? So we're on to, what are we on to next, young Billy?
So that was batch 3. So next batch is batch 4. We've got some fantastic stuff coming up. We've got the second set of Westfields, so we've got some more Westfields, and then we've got the Sports Libra classes, the Radical, the Mallock, and lots of Caterhams and Westfields. We've got some of the historic sort of road-going cars. We've got some Peugeot 205s, and we've got the Mini and the little Andrew Russell's little Ginetta G15, and then at the end of the batch we've got 2 very special cars. We've got the Subaru Legacy of Damien Bradley, and we've got the Subaru Impreza of Stephen Darley. who are going to be right up there in the hunt tomorrow when we have our Tin Top Challenge. Stephen Darley's car is basically, it's brand new. It's they did a Harewood in it. Was it last weekend you said that Harewood was?
Yeah, he actually debuted it at the end of last season, but he's gradually been getting it dialed in.
It's a monster.
If you look under the bonnet, the preparation on it is just
absolutely
astounding.
Brilliant. Yeah.
A beautiful job.
It's basically a turbocharger with a Subaru attached to the back.
Sounds like it, yeah. It got red flagged earlier.
No, he was last car in the batch.
Right, beg your pardon. It just felt like it was very soon after, and we saw that recovery truck, so I was just a bit worried that something happened. So
I think the Mini conked out earlier in the batch, because I saw that coming back on the truck. So I think they just got the truck up quickly. Good work by the team to get the truck moving quickly to not delay the meeting. But all fine, because I went to ask him. Right, we've got flags in. We've got cars coming to the line. I've got a Westfield. I've got the number 760. This is Graham Manton in the Westfield. So Westfields and Caterhams, very, very popular hill climb cars. Great fun to drive, very, very light. Loads of different engine options, road car engines through to bike engines. And this is Class B. This is Road Cars Specialist Production Cars. So this is basically, as they called your locator fields, Lotus, Caterham and Westfield.
I see what you did there.
Yes. It's good, isn't it? I didn't make that up. I can't claim it.
I notice now, is Stuart Hook here? He's down as car 20, but he's got a 1300 in it, supposedly.
Yeah, it's quite popular to put a Hayabusa in the front of these now because they're so light. So I don't know. I haven't seen that car yet. But who we can see is Graham Manton. He's with you.
He is indeed, actually. This is looks a recent build, I reckon, on this one. I'm not entirely certain, but very nicely turned out car. Over to you.
Absolutely, yeah. Just locks up a front inside wheel as he enters bottom S, but sorts it all out, no problem at all. Looks quite softly sprung, that car, but perfectly how he wants it, I'm sure, is Graham Manton. He's already across the line.
On a 35.62. Phil Fisher now in another Westfield with a Vauxhall engine in the front. With you.
Yeah, well, they've got a collection of cars, but he's driving this with his son Ben, and actually they're really enjoying this car, and it looks great.
Certainly does. Another chirp as it just locks up under braking. Obviously no ABS in these cars, just pure foot feel as he turns it left, turns it right, and fires it slap bang in the middle of the road towards the finish.
Time for Phil Fisher. It's a 34.06. Mike West on the hill now in the little Radical SR1 with the 1300cc bike engine in the back.
Yes, this is our ex-Marshal Mike West, who was a Marshal god, but I told him now he's no longer a Marshal god, he's a driving god. Anyway, he's got this lovely little Radical Team Valley Motorsport.
Absolutely, yeah. Takes a lovely line through bottom S, gets the car over to the left, turns it back in for top S, and feeds it the gears, and beautifully done towards the finish line.
As we wait time for Mike West, Sam Nicholson on the hill now in the Mallock. Quick car, this Mallock.
Iconic little Mallock, had lots of owners. This car still looks incredible. Little 1700 crossflow Ford in the front.
Absolutely rapid into bottom S. Takes loads of speed through there. This is beautiful from Samuel Nicholson. 8.62 through the S's. That is so quick. That's a single seater fast through there. Time
for Samuel Nicholson, 31.10. He'll be pleased with that. Mike West, by the way, in the Radical did a 33.84. Stuart Hook now on the hill in another Westfield.
Indeed, Stuart Hook, in fairness, yes, that's right. He's from Cirencester. He's the one that supposedly got a 1300 in the front. It certainly sounds a bit of a screamer. So whether he's gone down a little 1300 PDA route or something, I don't know.
Possibly just outbrakes himself slightly. He'll be disappointed with that. Just gets on the brake. Looks like we've got a few of these cars that are just blocking the inside wheel up, but he headed for the rector cell, but just opened up the wheel and managed to get himself out of it. But he'll be very disappointed to have lost a few seconds there.
Simon Price on the hill.
Simon Price, yeah, he's a regular competitor. Nicely turned out. He's using all the corners on this one, hard into bottom S, brakes hard.
Absolutely, yeah. Just takes a nice cautious line, big prod of power between the two S's, gets it set up in the centre of the road, and then applies that power back towards. It looked a bit squirrely earlier, still riding the crest of the course, but no, a bit better this time.
34.55 for Simon Price, excuse me. Malcolm Hickey now on the hill in a Caterham this time.
Yeah, well, the Caterhams, the only difference mainly is the fact they've got an aluminium body as opposed to a fiberglass body on most of the Westfields. The very early Westfields have aluminium.
Absolutely, yeah. This Kawasaki green appears into sight now with a purple 7 in the radiator. Really nicely prepared car. This is of Malcolm Hickey's, but he's through the S's and off towards the finish.
Time for Malcolm Hickey, 36.32. Rob Lloyd on the hill now in another Westfield.
Rob goes through now. He's from Leominster. He's a great local man. This is his second season, I think, in this car.
Yeah, turns again nicely. Just see the arms and elbows working away to just feed that steering wheel, then point the car in the right direction through the S's, which he has done so successfully, and heads towards the finish.
As we awaited time, Jerry Neary's on the hill now in the Westfield, bogged down a bit off the line, but he's away now with you.
Yeah, Jerry's been competing for many, many years, actually. This is always a very hotly contested little class. Be interested to see who wins the class.
Yeah, absolutely. The Caterhams are just such great cars. Have you ever driven a Caterham? Have you ever seen one, driven one?
I've seen one.
Sorry, beg your pardon.
Go past.
Sorry, have you driven one? Have you driven a Caterham?
I wish I had.
Oh, they're fantastic fun. So I'm very jealous of all the people in this class. So Jerry clears the finish line now.
And we've got Richard Price
Yeah,
with you.
Richard Price into bottom. He's always very rapid, is young Richard.
Yes, absolutely, and a big pot of power actually to kind of turn the rear of the car around and straighten it up for between the two S's. But this guy, I think, is running traction and all sorts of clever trickery. Should be a quick car, quick time.
Heads towards the finish now, crosses the line, 32.85. It is a quick time. Raymond Lure on the hill now in the Caterham.
Here comes Professor Raymond Lure, mechanical engineering professor. He certainly knows how to build cars as well. This shares with Joy Hoyle. He owns the car. Very rapid bit of kit.
Absolutely, yeah. Takes a big bite of curb as he just see the suspension compressing under there. Gets nice and tight to the inside at top S. Obviously, it's the line that works for him, and he's slap bang in the middle of the road, and he's over the finish.
Time for Raymond Lure, it's a 32.43. Richard Price did a 32.85. So the top three of that class, and it's only practice, are within half a second, so very close. Andrew Russell, one of my favourite cars on the hill, this little Ginetta.
Been around for absolutely yonks. Used to win its class on a regular basis. Little imp engine in
Hill
the
climbing
back.
is one of the
Such
most
a
popular forms of
beautiful car.
motorsport.
Handles
Drivers compete
It
against
is, and
the
it's
clock
just so
over
small,
a
isn't it?
tarmac
I'd love
course,
to have a
typically
go
around
in that. That would just be
1 to 1.5
fantastic, wouldn't it?
kilometres
But it weighs absolutely nothing. Very agile,
It
flicks it
attracts
left,
a
flicks it
whole
right
range of cars
through
from
the
road
S's and off
saloons
towards
to
the finish.
specialised
Time for Andrew
single-seater
Russell, it's
racing
coming up
cars.
now, it's a 36.35. Ian Stringer on the hill now in his lovely Alpha.
Yeah, when
The British Hillclimb Championship is the pinnacle of the sport, with over 150 drivers tackling 14 events around the UK, including Northern Ireland and the Channel Islands.
Yeah, it is indeed. It's fantastic. It's a really, really pretty car, isn't it? It sounds so throaty and gruff, and yeah, very desirable little car, delicious, and off towards the finish.
It's like my voice when commentating, throaty and gruff.
Indeed.
Good law firm. Ian Stringer is across the line, 38.47. Simon O'Sullivan on the hill now in another Lotus with you.
To you, Lloyd.
Already with me, it seems. Yeah, wonderful little car, Lotus Elise S1. No headlights in this one, so it's even lighter than normal, so proper race car spec. This one has to get out the throttle slightly as he had a wiggle at the top of the S's, but we're already across the line, no drama.
Yes, crosses the line, 35.24. Jock Ramsey on the hill now in the Opel Mantra.
Who wouldn't like a Manta? He's got 3 of these, you know, and he's come all the way down from Scotland, a regular competitor. Got a nice twin cam engine in the front of it too, proper job.
Fantastic. One of my favourite cars at Classic Nostalgia a few weeks ago was the Opel Monza that we had here, the Irish rally car. It was fantastic, and Jocks is great as well in that orange. He's through the S's and off towards the finish.
Heads towards the finish, but Stuart Reid is on the hill now in his 205 GTI. This is a very fast 205.
And he's a very fast driver. This has got 200 brake at the wheels. He's come down from Scotland as well, from Blacklarry into bottom S. He's we can go in the low 30s.
Well, it's driving on 3 wheels as it goes through bottom S as he took the curb. Really, really frantic as it puts the power down to the front. Fantastic. That's across the line already.
Crosses the line, 32.34. Stephen Moore on the hill now in the Evo. This is a monster.
It is a 700 horsepower monster. He's the farmer from Salisbury. He's harvesting peas at the moment. That's what he was telling me.
Very good, very good. Well, his Evo's a familiar sight here at Shelsley Walsh. It's a fantastic car with a Union Jack on top, and you can just hear it feeding that 700 brake horsepower, popping and banging across the line. That's really quick.
Stephen Moore does a 31.55. We'll expect to see him in the Tin Top Challenge tomorrow. We've now got Jonathan Williamson on the hill in another 911.
Classic 911. This is a very old car. This is what Laura Wardle was driving earlier. Rebuilt engine over the winter. Classic 911 air-cooled job.
Absolutely, you can just see the weight transfer at the back, just rotate the car, rear of the car around, but uses that traction of the engine at the rear to get all that power down and head towards the finish.
Time for Jonathan Williamson, it's a 33.33. Now this is an interesting car. Andrew Norris in the supercharged 911. You don't see many supercharged 911s.
You certainly don't. He's from the Team Valley too, local man, but yeah, beautiful thing, isn't it? Lovely. I think it's something like a 3.2, 3.3, isn't it?
Yep, 3.3.
Be interested to know how much power that makes. It is so unusual supercharging, isn't it? A flat 6 911 engine. You just don't really hear of it, but obviously works for him. Goes really well, and this car's such a great sight here at Shelsley Walsh, and it's across the line.
Crosses the line, 33.24, 33.24. I wouldn't be surprised to see Andrew in the top 10 challenge, top 10 Tin Top Challenge tomorrow as well.
Top 10 Tin Top Challenge.
Yes, when Peter Piper's finished picking his peppers.
Don't say that after a few pints of Thatcher's Gold, eh? I'm not imbibing. I never touched a drop at lunchtime. I was tempted. There's a members bar up here, isn't there?
There is indeed. Next off the line, we've got Jeffrey Twemlow popping and banging and spluttering his way into the first quarter in the Subaru with you.
Yeah, he's come all the way up from Cornwall. He's a well-travelled competitor. He's a well-retired gentleman. He has been connected to Tilly Coultry's quarries over the years.
Yeah, this Impreza, it sometimes can play up, but it seems to be running okay this weekend, which is great. Massive dump of boost as the wastegate makes its flutters, but we're already off towards the finish.
There, and it is a 37.50. This is a quick car. Paul Howells in this monstrous 911.
A beautiful car. I love it to death, actually. He's got the wrap of the green round it now. He comes from the Forest of Dean, campaign it for a while. Proper Porsche, this one, 911.
Yeah, it looks like he's had it wrapped since the last time I saw it. It was all yellow last time I saw it, so it's got those green down the side of it. Looked fantastic, and it's a real short ratio gearbox, 5th and 6th, and we're across the line.
32.71, 32.71. That car just sits down and goes off to start. It's amazing. Oh, next on the hill we've got the V8 MGB GT with you. Sounds great.
Serious car. 5.3 litres of V8 power. He drives it incredibly well. He's got an MG business as well. He knows all about him. Into bottom S.
Good grief, this is a hell of an engine in this car, isn't it? It lifts a front left wheel off the ground as it spurts its power between bottom S and top S. That's fantastic, and he's using all of that gruff power now and gets across the line.
Crosses the line now, 32.60, 32.60. Nigel Elliott on the hill now in the monstrous turbocharged Triumph TR7.
It's actually a V8 with twin turbochargers. Outrageous. Huge amounts of power. He's had a big accident in this car in the past. It's all rebuilt now. Maybe he's taking it a bit steadier now.
Absolutely, yeah. But the last time I saw this car, it's the only car I've ever seen go sideways over the horizon after the finish. As he had a bit of an issue before, but it was absolutely fantastic. But he's flying across the line as we speak.
Lloyd, we've got Damien Bradley on the hill in the Legacy. Hold on to your hats, chaps. This will be fast.
Here comes the quickest tin top in the country at the moment, and probably in Europe. Into bottom S now. Damien, go for it.
650, 700 brake horsepower from the AET turbos in Legacy. It's absolutely rapid. Almost find it difficult to find the words to describe how aggressive it is through the S's, and he's across the line.
Quick time, 28.78, 28.78. Nigel Elliott, by the way, did a 34.28. The next car might challenge your quickest tin top in the country, Monica. This is Stephen Darley in the brand new Subaru Impreza. What a thing this is.
It is. It's not fully there yet, because I saw he's got a bit of development to go, but nevertheless, it's going to be very quick in times to come, if not quite now.
Indeed. Let's see how it gets on. It looks fantastic. Those AET turbos working really, really well. Lots of power, lots of boost. And Stephen's out of sight and across the line.
Rockets up and finishing straight. Crosses the line, 30.91. 30.91. So that is, by my reckoning, the second quickest tin top we've had today so far, after Damien Bradley, who just did a 28.78. Let's see what Roger Moran can do in a second. But that ends the batch. By the way, we're actually testing the stream today, so if you're watching the stream, hello, and we just had to restart the cameras just to clear a little glitch, but we're all back up and running with you now, so welcome back if you're watching the stream. And we can see, as we wait for this batch to come down, a group of single-seaters assembling in the paddock to do their run in a minute. But that ends the batch. Remember, this is only practice. And already Damien Bradley's done a 28.78. Now I'm looking at the record, and let's see what it is.
Ian Rowlands, wasn't it?
It is, but what's that? Yes. What's the time?
I'm going to go 27s.
I think you're probably right. So we've got the closed car record is a 27.89, which is less than a second off what Damien Bradley just did, and it's only practice. So could that be a record that's under threat tomorrow?
I think it is, seriously.
Well, I'd be interested to see what the difference this now working wastegate makes.
Have you ever heard of the Nissan that got on pole at Le Mans?
Yes, I have heard. That was Mark Blundell, wasn't it?
Yeah, have you ever heard about this story, Mr. Ponsford?
No, I'm waiting to hear about it now.
Well, once upon a time, in the 90s, when Group C was in its pomp at Le Mans, and Nissan entered qualifying for the Le Mans 24 Hours with Mark Blundell on board, and the wastegate, I think it was, got stuck closed.
Yeah.
So the car had all boost all the time the moment he even touched the throttle. So
1100 horsepower worth of boost.
And the lap, they put it on pole by quite some way somehow. The lap is absolutely incredible because every time he touches the throttle, immediately there's 1100 horsepower. It's on YouTube. Unbelievable.
It's on YouTube, isn't it? Like that. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. So I would recommend.
Have to check that out now because I did briefly. I don't know if one of you mentioned it before, but yeah, that sounds incredible, doesn't it? So what I don't get though with David's car, when the wastegate's not working, because he turned the boost down because obviously it wasn't working right. So he's now sponsored by AEG Turbos, and they got him sorted out. They had him on the dyno yesterday. They found the wastegate wasn't working. They got it all sorted out, and apparently when they put it on the dyno, it's trying to jump off frantically.
Yeah, you said.
Amazing. So, yeah, fair play. I seriously think he is a serious contender to break that Dr. Ian Rowlands record, because he's not had it quite right for a while, but it sounds like now he's going to have that confidence that his car is bang on the money.
It certainly is very well developed indeed. I mean, I remember that car at Braga, and it was because in Braga, Billy, obviously, I remember being in the commentary box on the start line with you, and we knew when Damien was going because it was just such a loud, aggressive anti-lag launch control, because he had the side pipes out, didn't he? Because there was no noise restrictions for that event. So, but obviously we have noise restrictions here, which is kind of fair enough, because it is definitely loud with the side pipe.
Should have won his category.
Yes, there was a slight controversy there, wasn't there?
A little bit. Yeah, with the incredible Mercedes SLK from Switzerland that really should have been in category 2, not category 4.
Yeah, Rito
Or category 1, not category 3, sorry.
Rito Maisel.
That's it.
Yeah.
I got to see the Sauber Mercedes, the Le Mans car,
I love
Goodwood
that car.
recently. Oh,
C9.
my word, seriously beautiful.
It's an angry car, that is.
Oh,
very
man,
angry car.
That is just the bizzo. I mean, Goodwood was a car rules.
Yeah.
Sounds like we got cars.
We do, but yeah, that C9 and that C11, those Sauers are amazing. They've got so much torque. You see the race at Silverstone, and from Copse to Maggots and Beckett's, they can just stay in one gear because there's so much torque.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll not bother with that gear stuff.
You're absolutely right, yeah.
We have got flags in. We've got a car on the line. It's another Westfield. Incidentally, it's interesting, isn't it? A couple of years ago, the Westfield class that was the dominating one was on slicks, and they've all gone back to the road car class. So they're all back on road tyres. So you will see that they're treaded tyres. Steve Garner on the hill now in the Westfield with you.
Yeah, Stephen is a very regular class winner in this car. He's got two of these actually. This one of them got stolen, was away for 6 years, and was actually found in a lockup nearby. Won't say who nicked it, but either way, he's with you.
I remember you saying about this car. Yes, it's a fantastic piece of engineering as well. It's wonderful with its traction and paddle shift, but beautifully through the S's across the line.
Across the line for 32.53. second in class there, slots in between Ray Lure and Richard Price. That class, you were saying, is going to be very closely contested, Chris, and it is. There is about 5 cars within half a second of each other, so I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. We've got another car on the line, just stalled as he left the line. However, his rear wheels did not cross the start line, so he'll get to his run again. To be honest, in practice, they probably let him anyway, but the rules in hill climbing are if your rear wheels cross the start line when you stall, that is a failed run. If it's just your front wheels, then you can run again. He's off the line now, is Robin Wood in the Force PT, little 1100, with you.
Yes, indeed, the brothers Wood, come from up Yorkshire. Anyway, exposed engine at the back there. The sun has come out now. We're at Shelsley Walsh in the sun. Brilliant.
Well, interesting. The sun comes out, but I've got rain spots on the commentary box window. But as I think a shower passes just over the brow of the hill, but we should miss that. Robin Wood over the line, no dramas, where I'm concerned.
Into the sub 30-second run, a 29.87, so that's just over a second quicker than his run this morning. Good run. It is spitting the rain here as well, which is odd given it's in sunshine. It's a very strange weather moment. Anyway, we got Tim Thompson on the hill now. Great to have Tim back competing this year in LMS 28 with you.
Yes, it is great to have Tim. He's been away for some while. This is the car he shares with Jonathan Flesher, who had the car, and Dylan Flesher, his son, has moved to Australia now, so Tim's jumped in.
Fantastic. Well, you'll see those red spots there. The car runs on methanol, and you can smell it as it comes past my commentary box. Fantastic as it screams over the line.
Time for Tim Thompson, 29.62. Steve Morgan on the hill now in the Empire Evo 3, another 1100 with you.
Yes, it is. This is Tom's dad, who'll be up later on, and this is Phil Chaplin's creation of last year. Beautiful little Empire, that one builds them near Taunton.
Yeah, fantastic cars, these Empires, and really well driven by Steve through the S's. Wind starting to pick up slightly, so I wonder how that's going to affect these high aero cars.
Time for Steve Morgan, 29.15. 29.15. It's a big class, the 1100cc class this weekend, 15 entries, which is great to see. We go back now to Formula Ford. We're working our way through some dual-driven cars. So we've got the dual-driven Formula Fords next. We've got Kirsten Dodd on the start line. Kirsten, who will be marrying Matthew Ryder in December.
It was in December, is it?
It is in December.
Will he be El Campione in December? Or will it be Alex Summers?
Who knows?
It's all to play for tomorrow, isn't it?
Yep, Kirsten's just had a stall on the line, and funny enough, the aforementioned fiancé has run up to the back of Kirsten's car just to start it again. And so did Caroline as well, soon to be mum-in-law, who Kirsten shares the car with. So it started again. She's just settling herself down on the line. Really nice line all the way up to the first corner. Really beautifully done. Uses all the road on the entrance to Kennel and is to you in the Van Diemen.
Yeah, I do like the little Formula Ford. Such even racing. The better drivers usually succeed because there's not much between them in terms of power, tyres, all the rest of it. Anyway, over to you, Lloyd.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and there's been an absolute wealth of classic and iconic drivers born out of Formula Ford. I won't list them off now, but there's all sorts that we can go through. We all know, but Kirsten's through the S's, no problem across the line.
Crosses the line, 35.86, 35.86. That's over a second quicker than this morning. Good time. Paul Harris on the hill now in another Van Diemen, the RF85 from 1985, with you.
Yes, indeed. He's come down from Selby in Yorkshire. I see him a lot up on the northern hills, and over going in Bottomess now.
Yeah, just with me now, just comes down the gears, just takes a little clip of curb, gets it over to the left, straightens it up back and forth towards the finish line. Bit of an oversteer moment, a bit of a wiggle as we now head towards the finish.
We'll bring you that time in a minute. Paul Jones on the hill now in the Force TA, got his first points of the championship in the Channel Islands.
Excellent. Well, this is Darren Gumbley's car. I don't know what the relationship is, who owns the car, or whether it's half and half. Anyway, over to you.
Well, I believe it's Darren's car, but Paul used to share with Rob Anscombe, but now shares with Darren. Paul's gone brilliantly through the S's and across the line.
Great time from Paul, 28.56. Adam Greenham on the hill now. This will be impressive in the Empire with you.
Here comes the Greenham arm. He's really going well. That car is absolutely on song, getting into bottom end.
Yeah, it's always spectacular when the Greenhams are in town. Oversteer moment right, oversteer moment left. Absolutely fantastic. All arms and elbows, gets the car straightened up, sparks fly the line.
Crosses the line, 26.09, 26.09, second half quicker than this morning. Liam Cooper off the line now in the Force TA he shares with wife Olivia. Liam, going well with you?
Indeed, and I do love the colour of the car. It's a very successful little car. There's always nip and tuck battle between him and Olivia. Who's going to win this weekend?
Who knows, but this car's absolutely fantastic. It's always immaculately prepared, brilliant paint scheme on this, but turns in left, turns in right, no dramas at all. That car is on rails as it crosses the finish.
Crosses the finish 27.77. I also didn't bring you the time for Paul Harris in the Formula Ford earlier, that was a 37.03. Next on the line we've got Alan Warburton, goes really well in the GR59 he shares with son David. He's already with you.
Proper little car, this one. This was the development GR59 car. David Warburton is a regular top 10 runoff qualifier and getting in the points, 5th or 6th.
Absolutely, well, Alan, father of David, is just rapid through the S's. That car is so confident and sure-footed through the S's. Already across the line.
Crosses the line in 26.51, 26.51, 8/10 quicker than this morning. Becky Manton on the hill. We're back in the road-going sports car class with the Westfields. It's Becky Manton with you.
Yes, she is indeed, yes. I'm not sure if this is a shared car, because it possibly is anyway. It's a 2-litre version anyway. She's from Banbury.
Indeed, and she just has a little lock-up, but she kind of almost over-brakes for the bottom end. I'm sure she'll leave it a bit later next time, but she's through the S's, no dramas, bangs it into 4th, bangs it into 5th, and we're across the line.
Across the line in the 35.65. Ben Fisher on the hill now with you.
Yes, this is their new car for this year. They've got a little collection of cars, but this is the one they're mostly driving this year, but sometimes they go out in their plastic.
Lovely, and yeah, nice line through bottom S, just a couple of saws at the wheel to get it turned in for top S, and applies the power 3rd and 4th again across the line.
Heads up towards the finish. We are across the line for the 33.83. Phil Goff in the Caterham. This is a Hayabusa powered Caterham on slicks. This is a fast car.
It is indeed. He comes from Maggle, Liverpool. He's also an official at Logan Park, amongst other hills. But anyway, he drives his car very well indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Pops and bangs into my sights. Obviously, all sorts of trick engine management and all sorts going on here. Really nicely controlled power. Just feeds the power smoothly back in, goes through the gears across the line.
Time is 32.66. Roger Moran on the hill now, 1997 British Hillclimb Champion, now goes very quickly in this Skoda Fabia. He's with you.
What a fellow's kit this is. Ice racing car and a 600 horsepower engine. He's diluted it down to a 2-litre engine now. And over to you, Lloyd.
Absolutely loads of speed into bottom S. Carries the power through, car leans on its front left corner as it heads out of top S and bangs through the gears. We're across the line.
And a time of 29.67, 29.67. They've just had a bigger turbo put on this car literally yesterday to try and keep up with the Subarus. Roger, very quick driver indeed, obviously British Hillclimb champion, 29.67, a very good time indeed. Next on the line, now this is a cool car. This is Steve Mundy in the Ford Fiesta. I think this is an ex-rallycross car. Very quick off the line, pops and bangs, he rockets past me, it looks brilliant. He's already with you.
It is actually ex-rallycross, as you say, and he's got a lot of horsepower. He's local from Ludlow, and it certainly looks and sounds the part, doesn't it? Fantastic. It's nice to see that get into tip-top run.
Absolutely, it's got all the power, but has it got the grip? That's the question. But looks like it's going nicely through the S's. Obviously, these things are designed to go sideways and flat out everywhere. But so dramatic and such a crowd pleaser. And thank you to Steve for bringing that car here.
Crosses the line in a 33.37. 33.37. Now we've got the Radical again. We've now got John McQuillan at the wheel in their little SR1. Lovely little car. This with you.
Indeed, yes. John and Mike West co-drive this car together. They are part of the Team Valley Motorsport, but Mike West is the main man in that, along with Holly. And anyways, over to you.
Yeah, indeed, he's just with me, bottom S and through top S, and all very sure-footed and neutral, and in the middle of the road, across the line.
Across the line, 34.37. Stephen King on the hill now in the Radical. This is a Pro Sport, so sort of the predecessor to the SR1. Very quick car, very light, lovely.
Indeed, what's not to like about a little Radical? Most of them run the little bike engines in the back, usually Hayabusas. various denominations of them. Over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost central driving position in this, isn't it? It's just slightly offset to the right, but quite small, isn't it? But I'm not sure whether it's a 600cc or 1,000 in that one, but across the line.
Across the line now, Stephen King does a 34.45. Matthew Price on the hill. This is the SR3, so another bike engine radical, but the big brother of the SR1. With you.
This is 286 brake horsepower in this one. He's in his first season of hill climbing. So I said, what do you do? Oh, I just went and bought one of these and did this.
And he certainly knows how to drive it. He's a big load opposite lockout of bottom S and top S. Absolutely fantastically driven there from Matthew Price. Certainly not afraid of it, that's for sure.
He goes very quickly indeed. It's in. Oh, good for Matthew.
Sure,
into 29s. 29.23, 100 miles an hour across the line. The start line falls silent. I thought we were getting a Mallock, but we weren't. It went forward and now it's gone back again. Oh, it's being bump started. Well done, team in the paddock, to bump start the Mallock. I love this car. It's been competing for years and years. Do you know, they used to do Formula 3 lap times when they did circuit racing. They've got so much downforce from the floor, very quick cars, and they carry the modern ones. They often have Honda S2000 engines in them, which mean they're incredibly quick. This one was slightly older model with the Ford engine in it. It goes very quickly indeed in the hands of the Nicholsons. It's Robin Nicholson with it now. 2.12 second start. Beautifully done. Through Kennel to you.
I have full sunshine now. What better sight? Shelsley Walsh in full sun with a Mallock charging up the hill. Big crowd already on a Saturday. Fantastic to see.
Absolutely. What more could you want, Chris? What more could you want? This Mallock is also, it snakes its way through the S's with such efficiency and such ability. It's so well dialed in, that car. It's across the line.
30.60, 30.60. Next off the line, the monstrous Force SR4 1300cc supercharged Force with you.
Wow, what's not to like? This is Alan McDonald. This car is actually the car that Rob Stevens broke the record in. He comes all the way from Scotland, ex-cycle TT racer on the Isle of Man.
Yeah, I love this car. The smell and the smell of the ethanol as it fires past the commentary box is fantastic. Super quick. It's rapid as it across the line.
29s, 29.50. Graham Lopes on the hill now in the Lola T492, the Sport. The Lola with the Porsche engine in the back. Sounds great, looks great.
It doesn't it just? It looks amazing, doesn't it? It looks so simple, but a beautiful Porsche engine in the back. Drives it very well indeed. Over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a beautifully prepared car, and it just has a little bit of understeer, has to get out of the throttle and just delays his input onto the final straight, but no issues across the line.
Graham Lokes 32.17. Simon Bainbridge on the hill now in the monstrous SBR Chrono.
Our farmer from Middlesbrough Way. What a piece of kit. He was super quick at Wiscombe last week. Did he win one of the Tin Top Runoffs?
I think he did, yeah. I certainly saw that, but yeah, Tater just chucks it into top S. You can see the arms at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock as he fires it through top S. He's across the line. 30
seconds dead. 30 seconds dead. 117 across the line. Now this is a quick car. This is Duncan Barnes in the Norma Honda Super turbocharged engine in the back. He goes so well in this car. Let's see how he gets on with you.
Monstrous car, super quick, as we know. A hill climb car for Europe. They are the cars to beat over there, and he's part of the Tilly Coultry's team on Wallace Biggie's car. Absolutely, yeah. It's traction control fluffing away and modulating that power as it backs through the gears rapidly across the line.
27.74, 132 across the line. Tony Feekins on the hill, another lovely Peugeot 205 GTI with you.
Well, he wrote his other one off at Lowton Park recently, so he's got this one back out today. He's got another shell for the other, but he's going very well. He's always a trier.
Well, this is a very serious 205 anyway. It's got a massive set of throttle bodies on it as he just takes a good chunk of bank out. I'm sure all part of the plan. Didn't really slow him down, but he has just flicked a bit of dust up, but across the line.
It's going to be quick. 35.56, 35.56. First run of the day, so I don't know if maybe for some reason he didn't get to his run this morning.
Well, we were hearing coil pack 205 GTI over the Tannoy. I would imagine it's possibly something to do with that.
Yes, by the way, also, we didn't see, you might have noticed we didn't see Davy Reynolds, Nicola Mingus this morning. Starter motor was the culprit, they think, so they was changing it. So
well done to you finding that, Billy. I know you always scour
Investigation,
that paddock, aren't you? That's what you do.
Got to get the goss.
You get the goss.
So that's the end of the batch. Those cars will come back down. Some really quick times already coming into the some of the sports cars and sports Libre cars into the 29s and even the 27s in terms of Duncan Barnes, 27.74.
Just wouldn't mind asking a question, Billy. Norma, the M20.
Yeah.
So obviously on the continent they got Normas with I think, do they have Judd engine Normas out there?
They do, yes.
Is the Judd? Where does the M20 fit in with competitiveness against the likes of the Fagioli and the other cars?
Fagioli runs a Norma.
But okay, so the same spec as the one that we've got here today, or
no? So actually, strap in.
Okay,
everybody.
no, I genuinely.
CN chat.
Go on.
So the rule set is CN. Norma and Acela are the two key manufacturers in Europe. Norma's actually now called Nova in Europe, not the Nova that does the tyres here, by the way, but that's another story. And the ones they have in Europe are often, they're either 3-litre V8s based on sort of Formula 3000 kind of X engines, or now they are doing smaller engined turbocharged versions as well, but I think it's like a 1700cc limit off the top of my head.
Right.
But they have a lot more aero than Duncan's car. So Duncan's car, in terms of aero, is very similar to the circuit racing spec of CN, which is 2-litre. So they have slightly less aero, 2-litre engines, usually the Honda S2000 engine. In fact, it was at one point all Honda S2000 engines. And they do have a 2-litre class in Europe as well. So Duncan's is very similar in aero to the 2-litre class cars that run in Europe, but he's got 500 horsepower and similar in power to the Fagioli car.
Got you.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yes,
Great.
that makes sense. Because
wake up, everyone.
Yeah, I know. You can wake up now. We'll talk about V8s again. But I just thought with these Normas, obviously this is what you see when you go on YouTube and you put in fast, the Norma stuff, and I just wondered what the differences were. But you cleared that one up beautifully for me, Billy. Thank you.
He would have. It's a shame the Masters hasn't happened, because that car, Duncan's car, would have been
go well, wouldn't it?
It would have been.
It would go well.
Built for the Masters. You get quite a lot of radicals in Europe as well, especially the Maltese Championship has a lot of radicals in it.
Yes.
Which is great.
There was that lovely who was the French lad, what's his name, with the yellow car, he built it himself.
It's the Revolt. They've built about 4 now.
Have they? I was going to say, how are they getting on?
Well, very well. There's 3 or 4 of them that run in the French Championship. I think one of them might be doing the European this year. And his name will come back to me. Fabien Bourgeon.
Fabien Bourgeon.
And I've probably pronounced that wrong, Fabien, if you are watching.
Yes. I've got to be. I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Yeah, me too.
So I should be. He was a lovely lad, wasn't he? In the Masters.
Désolé, Fabien, if I've just butchered your name. But they built 4 of them or so.
Yes.
Some of them with V8, some of them with. Again, the French Championship, strap back in, runs the same chassis rules as Europe, but they can have more powerful and larger turbocharged engines.
Right, got you.
So most of the French cars are now becoming turbocharged.
I tell you what, I'd love to have some of these European cars, see what they could do at Shelsley Walsh. It would be so interesting.
They're a bit big.
Well, I know, but even so, like I'd like to, I'm sort of Michael Ratajczak. You probably know of the 950 horsepower Evo.
Now that would be cool.
Michael Ratajczak, I think that would be cool. To get Team Poland here would have been incredible, because they've all got 1,000 horsepower Evos and they all drove them like they stole them. Absolutely incredible.
Yes, that would have been cool. I
think Damien might have had something to think about there.
Yes. Yes, I think the Fagiolis and the Merleys would struggle because they're not as quick off the line, because they don't need to be. The timing, the hills are longer, etc. So they're not as good off the start as ours. And to be honest, that's so important at Shelsley that you do that you're at Kennel in such a short period of time. The start's so important.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got flags in. We've got a car off the line. It's Nicola Cottrell in the Pilbeam. Bogged down off the start, so I had to drop the clutch and have another go. But she's on her way now in the X-Works Pilbeam.
Isn't that pretty too? Yeah, Nikki Cottrell's here with her husband John, and that is just old school racing, isn't it? With the 2-litre engine in the back, just beautiful.
Yeah, indeed it is. It just looks like when you would say draw a racing car, that's probably what you draw, isn't it? It's a fantastic looking thing, and barking its way across towards the finish.
I think it is. If you asked a 10-year-old to draw their dream car, they'd do that, and then they'd say, what colour will you have it? Well, I'd have it purple with loads of sort of spots,
flames up the side of it. Great.
Flames, brilliant. So this is great. Time for Nicola Cottrell, 33.07. Andrew Colburn on the hill now in the Formula Island. Van Diemen, as we were saying, going better and better in this car.
Yeah, it does. It go extremely well, doesn't it? I think it's got a 2-litre Ford engine in it, and yeah, very nice design, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as we've all been saying, they're just going better and better in this car. When they first bought it, I think they were a little bit circumspect, just getting their head around it, but they're really flying now as Andrew deals with the S's, no problem at all, and heads across the line.
Across the line, 30.23. Nicola Dearden on the hill now in the Gould Delara.
Yeah, unusual, isn't it? Look how slim it is at the back there. This is a well-campaigned car. I think it's got a Vauxhall red top. It's got about 280 brake in it.
That's a fairly serious engine, isn't it, with 280 brake? It's incredible. And but just uses the torque of that engine to get out of top S. We're not shooting it for the stars of the red line, but we are across the line now.
Crosses the line in a 34.7, 401 across the line. Yeah, that car's an ex-Formula 3 car, which Gould took all the side pods off and all that stuff you don't need and added more wings, and that car has won runoffs in the past, you know, in the hands of Ben Butterfield.
Well, that's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
We got Paul Alexander just heading up the hill now. He's into bottom S now.
Yeah, absolutely. Just stops the car almost like he could brake a little later, but turns it in nicely through top S, gets the back end out. You can hear that supercharger whistling away as we're bashing through the gears. We had a slight gear change issue as we did before again, so hopefully nothing sounded better than before, but hopefully not, nothing too bad.
The quick time, 29.31 into the 29s, 107 across the line. Kelvin Broad next, blasts past me in the supercharged Force TA with you.
Yeah, what's not to like? This, of course, is the car that Alex Coles will be up in shortly, and Alex has been getting into runoffs this year. Very quick young driver from Plymouth, but this is Kelvin. He's had the car a while. They got half and half share.
Absolutely, yeah. He's already through the S's and off towards the finish, but nothing to report. It was just nice and stuck to the road. Left, right, away we go.
It's rapid, that car. Kelvin does a 27.27. Good time. Puts him 122 across the line. Zach Zammit leaves the line now. Rockets past me in the Works Empire.
Zach from Malta, yeah. He is a one talented driver, actually. He is, I'm just impressed with him every time I see him in this car.
He's so quick through the S's, Zach is. He really is. He's rapid through there, always on top of it. Nice slide on the power as he leaves top S, and he's already across the line.
25.46, 25.46.
Could be a runoff potential, shouldn't
I think he will be tomorrow. Next off the line, it's Gary Warren. We're in the 1100cc class now. This is an Empire Evo with you.
Yes, indeed. He comes down from Scotland, actually. So he's had a long journey. He did have a bump last time he was here at bottom S prior to the runoff. But anyway, he's with you.
Yeah, just rotates the rear of the car in. The back end just sort of starts to overtake the back. But all part of the plan is into bottom S, out of top S already, and we're across the line.
Cross the line in a 27.60, 27.60. That's very quick. That puts him third in class at the minute. But I know this is just practice, but still. Gary showing us tomorrow he's going to be right in the hunt for a class podium. Anthony Wood on the hill now in the Force PT. Already with you, 1100cc class car.
Indeed, yeah, shared car with his brother, but always goes well indeed. As I say, today is only practice, but already we've got a lovely crowd.
Absolutely, yeah, it may only be practice, but the drivers still have to kind of figure out where the limit is, don't they? So that's the whole point, but Anthony's already through the S's and across the line.
Crosses the line now, 30 seconds dead, 30 seconds dead. So that's 2 seconds quicker than he went this morning. Next off the line, it's Gavin McLaren in the OMS 2000M, another 1100cc class car, already with you.
Indeed, yes. This was built in 2000. He's been campaigning this now for a couple of years. Really got the hang of this little bike engine car. It looks great and goes well, doesn't it?
Certainly does, yeah. Turns in nice. He takes a nice line through bottom S. Just clips the drain cover, straightens it up. No dramas at all. Buzzes its way off towards the finish.
Gavin McLaren heads towards the finish, does a 28.43. Richard Matossian now in the GWR Raptor with the BMW Superbike engine in the back. Class record holding car.
It is. When Robert Kenrick had the car, yeah, Robert was electric in this car, to be fair, and Richard's dialing it in nicely now.
He really is. Carries loads of speed through top S. Just had to get out the power in top S though, because he took a bit too much speed and the bank came at him quicker than he'd have liked. So I think he got out of that and got back into the power.
27.31. That's the best I've seen him go up here. That's brilliant. Really getting to grips with this car and this hill.
There's definitely more in that.
There is, but right in the hunt in the class. Richard Walker off the hill now in the OMS CF04. It's a carbon fibre chassis, this, with you.
Yeah, indeed, yeah, this is interesting. You mentioned that, actually. Yeah, that's a very early carbon fibre chassis then for OMS. And it's only got a 1 litre engine in that one, so quite small, isn't it?
So I think Trevor Willis's first championship winning OMS was a V8 CF04.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Think so, but I'll have to go and check. Sorry, over the line, 30.08 for Richard Walker. Next on the line, Jonathan Flesher. Jonathan's had points already this year in the British Hillclimb Championship, getting quicker and quicker in this car. Great to see with you.
He is indeed. This is immaculately turned out car as well. He's starting to drive it really, really well, to be fair. He's out in this car with Tim Thompson this year.
And you could just hear it right at the top of its, right at the top of the RPM. Absolutely having the neck ringed out of that engine. Really going well is Jonathan, and he's already across the line now.
Let's see, he's into the 27s, not quite. 28.05, 28.05. Second quicker than he went this morning. I know there's a 27 in there. I think we'll see that tomorrow. Next on the line, we've got another OMS. So this is an OMS 3000. So this is it's carbon fibre clad, but it's a space frame. It's one of the latest OMS. So sort of this and the OMS 28 are the new OMSs you can get today. This is an OMS 3000, complete with 1000cc engine in the back with you.
Ah, the shoestring racing, Nigel Pitt himself. Yeah, he's going well. He's always a trier, is Nigel. Over to you.
You can just hear him banging the gears down the box as he enters bottom S, flicks it right, flicks it left. There we go, and he's a little bit of wiggle of the rear end as he gets the power down and he heads across the finish.
Heads up the finishing straight now, crosses the line, 27.31, 27.31. We've got a really, really tight battle tomorrow to look forward to in the 1100 class. It's really tight.
Same, Richard Matosian and Nigel Pitt just done the exact same time.
They have. So we're looking forward to that. We await James Chalmers. The car stalled. Mum and Dad just at the back of the car, just trying to get it started. John's got it. We've got it going. Bogged down a bit as he tried to spin the wheels. So maybe just not quite on boost. So it probably just needs a bit of a reset on the start line. But Jamie brings it to the start line now. It sits there ticking over. This is a nice car. This is a lovely looking car. I think Formula 3 cars, when they're turned into hill climb cars and they just add wings that befit the chassis, they just look fantastic. Sounds great, this car as well. Pops and bangs, he rockets past me, uses all the road as he goes into kennel. Nicely done, James. Off up the hill.
Well, what a powerful little thing this is too, isn't it? But it's is it supercharged, turbocharged motorbike engine? It's about 400 horsepower, isn't it?
Again, all the anti-lag in the world as it pops and bangs its way to keep itself on boost, and fantastic through the S's and bangs through the gears across the line.
Into the 28.59. So he's found a second from this morning. Well done, Jamie. Tom Morgan on the hill now in the Empire Evo 3. He goes very quickly in this car. He's with you.
He does indeed, yes. New car last year, and he's the young charger, one of our new young chargers, Tom Morgan, into bottom S.
Yeah, really going well. Peers into my sight. Those flashes of pink across the blue with the that distinctive paint scheme, but soaring at the wheel, straightens the car out and heads across the line.
Time for Tom Morgan, 27.56. Another of the 1100s into the 27s. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them now in the 27s. Clive Austin, let's see what he can do in the Empire Wraith. Lovely looking car. He's with you.
Yes, he's got this car properly sorted now. He's a resident just up the road there. He's got a fabulous collection of cars, but I think he likes driving this one the best.
He's rapid off the line with a 1.91. That's so quick, and he's already through the S's. No such dramas, and but a little bit of, might I say, a little mist coming out of the back of that. Hopefully it's just a bit of methanol fumes, but across the line.
Crosses the line, 27.72. Tom Weaver, let's see what Tom can do. He's with you.
Tom is extremely rapid, Ludlow driver. He is definitely a young contender. My goodness me, he's going well.
Loads of speed into bottom S. Beautiful through bottom S and top S. That's the best I've seen anybody yet go through the S's. Rapid at 7.74. Tom is on it.
Is he going to be into the 26s? I think so it is. 26.33. 26.33. Just the 1.6 seconds quicker than he went this morning.
That's about at the limit of an Evo 2's ability through the S's, I think.
That was absolutely brilliant. Yeah,
rapid.
S sector of 7.74. You won't see much go quicker in any class than that. So quick time, well done, Tom. And this is only practice. Right, what can Dave Tatham do? This beautiful DJ Firehawk, second season with the car, going brilliantly in it with you.
Yeah, all carbon as well. This is fantastic, this Firehawk. He drives it so well. He won by a mile at Harewood last week in the class.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just tips it into bottom S. Nice line through there. Gets it back across to the other side. Turns in beautifully through top S. Really quick steering on that car. And it's heading across the finish.
Is he going to be into the 26s? He is. 26.58. 26.58. 2 and a bit tenths down on Tom. Gave away about 4 tenths through the S's. That's where the time was. Now,
such a good class.
It is, isn't it? Stuart Bickley. Stuart is so quick in this force, immaculately prepared. You're not going to miss this car. Here he is.
Wow, yeah, don't go for it, Stuart. He's going to be a serious chance for a run-off contender in the 1100 class. It's going to be amazing, isn't it, tomorrow?
Let's see what he can do. Lovely through bottom S, great through top S. Nice, he'll be happy with that. And he's just got to use all that horsepower to get him across the line. What's he going to do?
It's going to be quick, isn't it? 26, let's see, 26.03. 26.03. Absolutely brilliant. Almost into the 25s. In an 1100 class car in practice. Wow.
Billy, tell me, what would you need 20 years ago to get into a 26 second
a DFR? No, 20, well, now that'd be a bit longer ago, maybe 30 years ago, but 20 years ago you need a GR55 Gould.
Yeah.
Anyway, Max Hawk's on the hill. We're into the Formula Ford class. He's with you.
He is indeed, Max Hawks. Yeah, he's one of our regular photographers on the hill as well. A big puff of smoke, a bit of braking, I think.
A bit of a lock-up. I heard the lock-up as we got into bottom S, but no dramas. We're through the other side of it and we're heading towards the finish.
Heads towards the finish for Max Hawks. Crosses the line any moment now. It's a 36.76. Carol Nichols is on the hill and with you.
She is. Carol Nichols in her father's built Nike. She's out competing nearly every weekend in this little car. Fantastic competitor.
Yeah, absolutely. What an advocate for this single-seater class. She's absolutely brilliant. So that laid-back kind of driving style, arms outstretched, and feeds it the gears towards the finish.
Carol Nichols heads towards the finish, does a 39.80. Mike Gallery with you, Chris.
Yes, heading up towards bottom S again in the Formula Ford, looking good.
Yeah, with me now, just has a bit of an over rotation, just slides it into bottom S, just has to come out of it slightly. Might have delayed him a little bit, but a little bit fluffy on the lower end of the spectrum of the power range, but we're off and we're away towards the finish.
That's Mike Gallery does a 36.22. Les Buck with you in the Pringit.
Yeah, much travelled car, much travelled Les too, fantastic driver actually.
Yeah, another little lock-up as we go into bottom S, just struggling to find a gear there for a second, but he's found one now, and he points it towards the finish, and away we go.
Waiting for a time for Les. Sarah Bosworth on the hill now, bogged down ever so slightly off the line. She shook her head, but she's still at a 2.45 second start, and she's with you.
Sarah Bosworth, I think she broke her class record last week, didn't she, at Wiscombe?
She very possibly part of the Festival of Class of Records that was Wiscombe. I'll find out for you.
Indeed. Well, she's through the S's and off towards the finish. Not the tiniest run I've ever seen her do, but she's over and finished now.
It's quick though, 34.51.
Yeah, well, exactly.
34.51, so that's half a second quick, just over half a second quicker than this morning. Incidentally, Les Buck did a 36.37, so he went slightly slower, so I think he might have made a mistake. Trouble with Formula Ford here, it's all about momentum.
Well, Les had the worst possible issue at the wrong time, so he lost his gears at the entrance of bottom S and found it again just before he got to top S, so he lost all his momentum.
That's a shame. Anyway, it's practice. If you're going to do it today. Caroline Ryder on the hill now. Quick in this car, in the Van Diemen, with you.
Yeah, Matt Ryder's mum, and she's also one of our instructors here on the driver's days. She certainly knows her way up the hill, already approaching bottom S.
Yeah, with me now, and turns in nice and smoothly, gets over to the left-hand side, turns it in right. Beautiful stuff, textbook stuff, Caroline, in the way towards the finish line.
Heads towards the finish. Is it going to be into the 34s? We wait to see. It is 34.99. Gary Hill on the hill in the OMS.
Yeah, Gary Hill's he's making very good progress indeed. Yeah, so Gary, he's already into bottom S now.
He is a nice looking car, this actually, beautiful, but lots of power as he, God, I thought he was heading for the bank then. He really put a load of power on between the two S's, but I thought he was heading for the bank, but managed to turn it and straighten it, and he's across the line.
Time for Gary Hill, 28.35. So Gary in the 1600cc class. Now we pop back to the Formula Ford cars. We've got Jimmy Harris. I think Jimmy won the class here when we were here 2 months ago, I seem to remember.
He is quite rapid, to be fair. He's coming through, yeah, got a lovely line through crossing there. Again, lines are important, you can't enter anything anyway, but they've all got the same power, so you can't afford to scrub that speed.
No, absolutely, he carries beautiful momentum through bottom S, beautiful line through top S. That's really, really nice from Jimmy Harris, and heads for the finish.
As he heads towards the finish, Mark Schlanker's on the hill in the 1600cc Force TA, lovely car.
He is indeed, that's the ex-Einem Price car. Einem was fabulously quick in this car, and Mark is really getting the hang of it now.
He is beautifully neutral through that. It's a beautiful line through the S. It's really, really nice from Mark. Lots of grip, that car really working well for him, and he's off towards the finish.
And of course, Mark's old car is here with Dougie Campt now as its proud owner. So Mark Schlanker does a 26.65. Jimmy Harris's time was a 33.03. Stephen Potter now on the hill in the Empire.
Indeed, yes, that's a beautiful little Empire. That he's from Redditch. He's not long had that car, and he's really making great progress in that.
Yeah, indeed. Turns it left, turns it right. Really nice, and flashes into my commentary box and heads off towards the finish. No dramas.
That's going to be quick time. Is it into the 26s? Not quite. 27.08, 27.08. Good time nonetheless. Robert Capper off the line in front of me. 1.91 second start. That's quick. He's with you.
Yeah, I remember Robert when he was first campaigning a 600cc car, but anyway, he's from London. He works in the law game, and he certainly drives that one well.
Yeah, he does. The car really smooth through bottom S. Absolutely glued to the road through top S. It's a beautiful, beautiful line through there, and he's off towards the finish.
Heads towards the finish, does a 26.45, 26.45. Second, 1.4 seconds quicker than this morning, if I get my words out. Darren Gumley off the line now in the Force TA, has also had points in a British Hillclimb Championship run off this year in this car. He's with you.
He certainly has. He's a local man, so he does know his way up this hill. He's got a joinery business anyway, but he's joining you now.
Certainly is. Gomez just slightly bit of oversteer. Nice through the S's. I think he'll be happy with this. I think he'll be on to a good time here. What's he going to do? Keep an eye on the clock.
Come on, Darren, is it into the 25?
Yes,
it is. 25.98. He should be very pleased with that. Now we've got Andy Green on the hill. Oh, big wiggle through Kennel with you.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Andy Green on the hill. And it all go well. Go Andy.
Normally absolutely on the limit. Again, just to see the rotation of the car as he uses that momentum and that driving skill to just straighten it up, and he fires it through the S's across the line.
This is going to be quick. This is going to be very quick. It's a 24.94. 24.94. Well done, Andy. Olivia Cooper on the hill now. Wiscombe ladies record holder. She's with you.
She certainly is. And Andy Green, a stunning run there. I think that's probably his quickest ever run up.
I'll go and find out. Investigative journalism will happen after this to find out.
Indeed, Olivia Cooper's always so good in this car up the hill. She'd certainly be in my fantasy hill climb team. Absolutely wonderful. Cross the line.
Time for Olivia Cooper, set 27.51, 27.51. Second quicker than this morning. Right, what can David Warburton do? He knows there's a 24 in the hill because he's just seen Andy Green and do it. He will be flat past you at crossing, Chris.
He is, he certainly is. He didn't lift at all. He hasn't lifted at all. My goodness me, he's flying.
He's so quick, and just watch this S sector time. Absolutely rapid, little lift, big, turns it in to top S, nice and aggressive. Uses all that horsepower, gets him across the line.
This is going to be a 24. It is. It's a 24.70. 24.70. 117 miles an hour across the line, which incidentally is the same as his S approach speed. That is about as fast as a 1600 is going to go. So that that brings it
They're
close
not
to the
messing
batch.
around, are they?
This is practice, chaps, and we're in the 24s in the
They're
1600
not
class.
messing
Or as
I
Dave
got to
Warburton-
tell you, Billy,
Go on.
you were in run-off mode then, man. You was.
It was good.
It's great, wasn't it? And
I'm
Lloyd,
loving
what do
it.
you make of that little up boy? Yeah, that was pretty fantastic, wasn't it?
Well, the thing for me is how quick the 1100s are now, and 1100s and 1600s. They are so fast and so committed. It's the commitment, it's the aero, it's just how quick. So anything can do the S's in 7 second ish. I mean that's unbelievable. The commitment just frightens me. It's incredible.
I tell you what, if the sun stays out tomorrow, I'm predicting great things will happen. I think it's going to be some day tomorrow, don't you?
Definitely. If you're here or if you're even watching on the stream, come back tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to make a prediction right now that you're going to have to be in the 24s to be in the runoff if the weather's like this, because we've already got 2 1600s in the 24s.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
quite
there was 25s, wasn't there? Tom Weaver, what did he do? Was he in the 25s?
He was in the 20. He's in the 1100s. So I
Yeah,
think
but was he in the 25s or
This is a good question. I'll tell you.
Close to, wasn't he?
Tom Weaver did a 26.33. It was Stuart Bickley that did a 26.03. So he was. But I think you're going to have to do a 24-second run. To be in the runoff.
The difference is as well, I think this year, the last time I was here and all these cars came up, the track was still a little bit green from winter. No such dramas now. There's nobody, like, I mean, obviously Nicola had that unfortunate spin purely because there was just no grip at top S. It wasn't really anything she did wrong, it was just purely the track was just a little bit greasy in the dry. Now it seems like all these cars are hooking up really, really well. I'm convinced I would have seen a couple of cars in bank if they'd have carried the same speed that they've done this time around, last time around, if that makes sense.
I've got the stream in front of me, by the way, which thank you, Team Stream, for everything you do, but I've just had the times put up. Top overall competitors. This is a new thing that they've put on the stream where they've got overall times, so great work by Rich and Elle to do this, but they've put overall practice times at the moment, and from this morning Matthew Ryder still quickest on 23.67, Will Hall did a 23.87, Alex Summers did a 23.98, David Warburton's currently 4th on 24.70, but that's because the big class cars haven't gone yet. We've already got 6 cars into the sub 25s, and that doesn't include Wallace or Sean, and it will. Or Paul Hames, which again it will. So yes, or Jack Cottrell, who by the way had you know that you said that you thought Jack Cottrell's car slowed up towards the finish.
It did, yeah.
It was a highly technical problem.
Go for it.
He ran out of petrol.
Nice. Because I thought I saw it just shut down. I thought, well, it sounds like maybe an electrical issue or something. But then I thought, well, it stopped firing.
So they've had a talk, and an engineering decision has been found where they're going to put more in.
Oh,
right.
Wow, that's technical stuff then, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's good to hear.
It's a cheap solution.
It's an easy solution.
Yes.
Where do you get... so the petrol goes into a sort of a tank-like thing, and then what? It goes into the engine and presumably makes it run for longer?
Well, it depends how much you put in.
Oh, right, I see. Yeah. So you can't just put a little bit in and then it runs forever.
So message to John Cottrell. Get your wallet out, John, and chuck a bit more in, boy.
It's only a 5-litre tank as well, so...
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Fine margins.
Seriously, they're only 5-litre tanks because they don't need more than that.
Because I watch them sometimes when they're filling up in the paddock and they're literally got that blue methanol stuff, you know, and it's not much they put in, do they?
No, 5 litres.
Well, I don't think it's even as much as that sometimes, because what would they actually use going up the hill? Not an awful lot.
No, I mean, when we did the Masters and we had the hill was sort of 3 kilometres long, or when we did some of the Masters, plus they had to actually drive to the start line, warm up their tyres, do the run. Some of them were slightly marginal on fuel. But here, 5 litres is more than enough.
Oh, gosh.
You do 2 runs probably.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yes, the good news is that it wasn't a problem for the car, because Jack did have an issue at the meeting in June, which meant he didn't take part in the afternoon runs, which was a shame because he'd been going so quickly, and this year has been driving brilliantly. So looking forward to seeing what he can do. So anyway, yes, that's my prediction, sub 25 to...
I think you'll be right.
Oh, by the way, I'm just waving at my dad, who's here. He's just arrived. He's in the paddock.
Legend.
Watching.
Legend.
So there's a, it's 40 years of Gould today. So there's a Gould dinner tonight for many ex-champions and drivers. And I've also seen Paul Ranson here, who you may remember.
Yeah, I do.
Martin Groves.
Yeah, Martin Groves, yeah.
I've seen not that he drove a Gould, but I've seen. Chris Merrick, of course, is here. He drove a Gould.
Paul drove the
Paul shared with Grovesy, yeah. I've seen Chris Merrick here, who used to drive a Gould. I've also seen Jim Robinson here. Jim, if you're still here, great to see you. So
Tom New drove Gould.
He did, yeah. Tom did. Tom shared with Chris Merrick.
Yeah.
Anyway, flags are in. The batch is going. We've got the AFSP 40 past me. Simon Mather howls his way into kennel with you.
What a pretty thing. Built by Alex Summers and family over 7 years. They've now got a car that can qualify for runners. What an achievement.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Just has a big oversteer moment as he goes into bottom S, just outbrakes himself slightly and the rear of the car just rotated, but no harm done. It's all collected and we're across the line.
Across the line for a 27.66. Next off the line we've got Sandra Tomlin in the big 4-litre Pilbeam. Sounds great, this car goes great. She's with you.
She certainly is. Yeah, she's had this car for a while. Doesn't it look fabulous in those stripes? It's a classic colours. I think every young boy would design it that way, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. Yeah, we turn left, we turn right, nice and smooth. Uses all of the track on the exit of top S. And we're off towards the finish.
Crosses the line now in a 29.59 and 133 across the line. That car really shifts. Next off the line, Bernie Kevill in the OMS 28, already past me, through kennel to you.
Yes, he is. He shares the car with Simon Andrews. This is their big car. It's a proper thing with a V8 in the back there. Latest spec OMS, fantastic.
Yeah, it is absolutely fantastic. Nice little correction of oversteer as we get out of bottom S and we're through top S and the traction control fighting the power. We're across the line.
Across the line to do a 28 seconds dead, so 1.2 seconds quicker than first practice. So obviously it is just practice, but the hill is rubbering in very nicely indeed. Next off the line, we've got Lynn Owen in the factory OMS, the works OMS, with you.
Yeah, built by Steve, her husband, up in York. Lynn drives this car regularly. Actually, Steve had one of his smaller OMSs out at Harewood recently and went extremely well in that. Actually beat the times of the big car.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's always really nicely driven, beautifully prepared, and Lynn drives it really, really nicely and smoothly to finish the time.
In a 29.67, 117 across the line. Next we've got the DJ, which, just checking it is timing, it is, yes, it's with me, it's Lindsay Summers and she's with you.
Yeah, no car sounds better than this. You listen to that engine scream, it goes to 14,000 RPM in a V8, fabulous.
It's fantastic, and Lindsay certainly knows how to drive it as well. Checks a nice line through bottom S, turns it right, tilt of the head, she straightens the steering wheel out, applies all of that fantastic power towards the finish.
Up the finishing straight now into the 26s, yes, well done Lindsay, 26.98, great time, 135 across the line, absolutely brilliant. Sean Gould on the line now in the Gould GR59 with the 4-litre Judd in the back, new larger aero at the rear, bigger rear wing, bigger floor. Let's see how he goes. He rockets into Keno and out of my sight.
Top hill climb car built by the top maker of these things, and he can really drive. He was so close to barriers, my goodness me.
Yeah, you can hear him coming down the box as he turns it in. Lots and lots of power, almost rotates the earth with the power generated between the two S's, but he straightens it up and he's across the line.
Across the line now, 24.32, 24.32, 137 miles an hour across the line. Amanda George now in the car that I said I'd take home if I could, this beautiful Chevron B19.
Ex-Eiger Racing Joe Siffert car. This one, as you say, is immaculate. Such a beautiful thing. Quite a few on the continent, I'm told, still.
Yeah, they circuit race them a lot as well in historics. It's amazing that the Chevron built a car that could compete at Le Mans 24 hours and the Shelsley 24 seconds, isn't it?
Very good.
Joseph Mackerel with you now in the Tiga.
It is. Lloyd will like this one. French engine in the back, Peugeot engine. Sounds good, actually. Making good progress up the hill. Puff of smoke as he goes into bottom S.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if he'd like to swap for my knackered 1.6 GTI engine. Probably not. But either way, fantastic MI16 engine. Hear the trumpets as it's drawing in the air through the side of the car across the line.
Heads up, finishing straight, 32.37. Amanda George, by the way, did a 33.18. Anime Furnace on the hill now. It was on 3 cylinders as it came past me, but it may have cleared its throat now. How's it sounding with you, Chris?
No, actually, you're right. It's not 100%, actually. There's a job for Ollie Wright and Mike Rest to sort out.
It was definitely a straight 3 when it came past me, not a 4.
Oh, it's found the 4th cylinder though, as it's gone under my commentary box. No, now we're back on 3 again. I think we've got a coil pack or something's gone awry there.
Maybe there'll be another attention paddock, maybe.
Yes.
Next on the hill, we've got John Cottrell now, again in the Cottrell family Pilbeam, the ex-Works car, with you.
Yeah, interesting ex-Works car then, yeah. So, who was driving it then?
Oh, that's a pub quiz question that I wouldn't know the answer to, because that car's been around through many hands, so I'm not sure. But it's about 20 years old. It's an MP82, isn't it?
It looks fantastic all the same, and yeah, no problem through the S's. Slightly slow out of top S, but safely through and across the line.
Heads towards the finish now, 32.69. Ian Tucker on the hill in the OMS 28 with you.
Yeah, from Cornwall in the Hayabusa engined OMS. Travels up on a regular basis, long old journey, but it comes most times.
Absolutely, yeah, turns in nicely to bottom S, just takes a nice smooth line, turns left, turns right, and yeah, nothing to report really, across, heading towards, get my words out, heading towards the line now.
The line at the end with the
yes, the big
finish,
thing with the ending,
stop.
heading to the ending, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, time for Ian Tucker was a 29.96, so into the sub-30 club. Well done, Ian. Incidentally, you might be thinking, why is there a Hayabusa-powered car in the 2-litre class? And that's because they've found a way of stretching Hayabusas even more. So that's actually a 1690cc Hayabusa, so over 1600cc, hence why he and also the Andy Bogoid car fall into the 2-litre class, because they've stretched them even more. Anyway, we had a brief flag moment, but that's gone away. We've got Aaron Colburn on the hill now in the Van Diemen that they're going so well in with you.
Indeed, yes, they are going well in this car, so the pace is really hotting up, and I tell you what, it's great to see on a Saturday. We've got a massive crowd here already, which is brilliant.
Well, the weather's nice, so what else are you going to do with your afternoon, eh? Then sit in the garden. You can come and sit on a hill at Shelsley Walsh and watch Aaron Colburn send this Formula Island car through the S's with great aggression and across the line.
28.37, 28.37. Tim Elmer on the hill now. Great to see Tim out in this beautiful Dallara with the 2-litre TKD engine in the back.
Has Tim been away? He used to campaign a Caterham.
Good question. I think he's had this car for a while. Investigative journalism will happen.
I've given you a lot of questions today, haven't I?
It's like question time.
Well, it's a lovely car. It just takes, just gets a little bit towards the centre of the road, heads for the banks, but scoops it all up and eases it away towards the finish.
Across the line, 28.78. Andy Bogoid on the hill now in the force with you.
Yes, indeed. Comes all the way from the Channel Islands in this little car, but he does drive it very well indeed. He's got Channel Islands weather with him today.
Absolutely, but beautifully popping and banging his way through the S's, flashes under the commentary box and powers his way towards the finish line. Straightforward.
Heads towards the finish, 27.25. 27.25. Next off the hill, on the hill, it's Mike Tregoning in the MP88. The lovely 2-litre engine singing away in the back as he passes me.
Isn't this pretty too? This is a beautiful little car. Very well sorted as well. Travels up from Cornwall, Newquay Way, I think.
Yeah, tips it in, and yeah, it's a really good-looking car, this, isn't it? A really good-looking car, and sounds fantastic as I can hear it barking and honking its way up towards the finish line.
Crossing the line now, 29.60. Well done, Mike, into the 29s. Next off the hill, it's Andrew Henson. It bogged down slightly as he left the line, but he's away now. He goes really quickly here in this car, especially through the kink.
He does, to be fair, yeah, he's a regular here, isn't he? And he certainly knows his way up there. My goodness me, he's sparking there as he goes into bottom S there.
Yeah, carries a nice amount of speed in, turns the car beautifully to the left. Beautiful line out of top S, and this should be a good time for Andrew.
Could be into the 26s. We wait and see. No, let's see, 28.16. 28.16, still quicker than this morning. Anyway, we've got Jonathan Varley on the hill.
Jonathan flying in the Predator. My goodness me, he's going well in that car this year, isn't he?
You could really see the commitment on the entrance of bottom S. Had to stand on the brakes, but slides it out of top S, feeds it the gears, 6th, all the way up to 6th, and we're across the line.
25.27, 25.27. Quicker than he went this morning. Next on the hill, Richard Alexander. We're into the 2-litre forced induction class now. He's with you.
He certainly is, yeah. Beautifully turned out little car as well, yeah. This is just the job, isn't it? Shelsley in the sunshine. Boys in the park playing football.
Oh, what more could you want, mate? What more could you want? Turning left, turning right, turbocharged, loads of power. God, it's like warp speed. We just missed a gear. I think we got a slight issue. It kind of...
I think it's actually conked out.
Yeah, I think it has. I think it has.
Anyway, 31.06 after that issue. Pete Tatham on the hill now in the OMS.
Pete Tatham, one of the Tatham brothers from Yorkshire. Always a trier as young Pete. He is not hanging about. This is only practice.
Good grief, he's on the limit of what that car can stop it, that's for sure. He's really on top of this, is Pete Tatham. Really having a good go, popping and banging his way. He's heading for the finish, this will be quick.
Could also be into 25s. Let's see. Yes, 25.85. Well done, Pete. Next on the line, it is the Empire with William Luffbridge at the wheel, the Works Empire.
He was really trying earlier, actually. Oh my goodness me, through the kick there, that is rapid.
Here he is now, arriving into my sight, scrabbling for traction, turns it right, really on top of the performance of this car. There's not much more to come from this car. These two drivers are massively on it in Zach and William, but we're across the line.
25 seconds dead, 25 seconds dead. Alex Coles on the line now in the Force TA. He was gutted, they had an issue in June here. He thought he could be in a runoff. Let's see how he gets on. He's so fast, he's with you.
He certainly is. I got so much time for Alex. He's a brilliant young driver, to be fair. He is committed. My goodness me, in practice.
Absolutely, yeah, turns it in. Beautiful, just points the car one way, points it the other. There's almost not much time to talk about it, but we're banging through the gears. That supercharged engine just fires it.
Is he going to sneak into the 24s? Yes,
wow.
24,
not
5,
even sneaking
2.
in.
Storming in.
Yes. Kicking the
He
door
didn't
open.
knock on that door, he hammered it down, didn't he? 24.52. I told you you're going to have to be in the
40 into S approach.
I told you it's going to be a sub 25 second
You're
run off.
You know what? I think
right.
you're spot on, Billy. You are the man. I think you're right.
You chum.
And I'll tell you what, I've got to say, Hill Records in very serious danger.
You
How
might
about
be
that?
right.
I know, I'll tell you what, I've got that feeling. I got a feeling.
It could be. Right, who we got next? We've got John Chalmers in the Chalmers family route, taking over from son Jamie. John's on the hill now with you.
He is indeed. This is a complicated car, and it reminds me of Roy Lane's old car. There's sparks off that through the kick. Incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Here it is. Turns lovely left, lovely right, slap bang in the middle of the road. Very efficiently done. And we feed it the gears towards the finish.
Heads up towards the finish now. It's a 27.57. Last car in the class, last car in the batch. It's car number 9. It's the Gould GR59 of Paul Hames, 1300cc turbocharged engine in the back. Builds up the boost, drops the clutch. Off he goes. Rockets past me. Is he going to be into the 24s? Let's see. He's with you.
I think there's a fair chance at that. Alex Coles was 140 into S approach. Paul Hames is saying 159 into S approach.
Could be a pheasant.
I doubt it, yes, but Paul, as ever, absolutely rapid, scrabbling for traction on the exit of top S, and he's already across the line. That's so quick.
24.32. There we go, Paul. Good time there. 2/10 ahead of Alex Coles. I think we'll see both of those two in the runoff tomorrow. That ends the batch. It's all very exciting for practice,
Fantastic.
isn't it?
I'm wondering how this is all going to come out tomorrow. There's so much potential from everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's going well, aren't they, today?
I tell you what, when you look at some of these runs, you look at the two we've just seen, Alex Coles, Paul Hames, Dave Warburton's another example. It looks like they're comfortably within what they and the car can do, which bodes really well for tomorrow.
does. It really does, doesn't it?
We haven't seen the big guns yet either, so it's just amazing. I mean, I've rarely seen a Saturday where I'm so excited about a Sunday.
Do you know what? I completely agree with that, Chris. I'm absolutely with you there. Coming into this weekend, I was excited to see what would come some Sunday evening, but I'm even more excited now, given that there's nothing clear about anything, is there?
We got a track. I think we've got to thank those NASCAR cars for putting all this rubber down.
Could be right there.
They've really cleared this track, haven't they? There's squirrely lines everywhere. And, well, that was some weekend classic nostalgia, wasn't it? Wasn't it brilliant?
It was great. It was great. It was
getting FOMO, chaps. I wasn't here.
Well, they had one of the highlights for me was that, they had David Lapworth going at the hill all day in the P25, which was fantastic, that amazing Resto Mod Impreza. But when I found out, I spoke to Martin Spurrell, and he brought along the actual Subaru Impreza WRC car from 1997 that Colin the car that Colin won the 1997 Network Q Rally on.
Did you see it?
It was the actual car.
Now, this is a strong statement, this Lloyd. Is it the actual car?
Yes, it is the actual car. It is the actual car.
Well, because I know there was Will Nichols brought the
Kankkunen.
Yeah,
the ex-Kankkunen Finland car. Yeah.
But I didn't know if that was Colin's old car.
Yeah.
So that's like
it was the right
hen's teeth.
It's the correct chassis number and everything.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's the car. Don't get me wrong. It's not how it finished the rally, but it's the correct body. Everything was repaired on it that would have been put, done and everything. But it is the car, the correct chassis number, the correct engine. Everything's correct for that car, and it is the one that finished the rally with Colin behind the wheel. And it's the last time Colin ever won a British round of the championship as well.
And when you saw it, Lloyd, how high pitch was your squeak?
Only dogs could hear it.
I thought you might say that.
Yeah.
He was off the Richter scale with the rally cars. I can tell you that those old French hatchbacks, they didn't even come close to what he got going on the
apparently he was still commentating on them on Monday morning.
Oh, yeah,
I
think so.
I was just talking to myself on the way home, 3 o'clock in the morning. Darling, my wife, darling, please, can you go to bed now? Please, can we just?
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. Yeah. Yes, please go to bed and stop talking about rally cars.
Well, I tell you, it was a fabulous weekend. One of the highs for me was the Hesketh.
Yes.
The ex-James Hunt Hesketh, the actual car, and to see that going up the hill, and we had the shadow here, didn't we? There was just incredible stuff.
It was a great day, and if anybody wants to experience classic nostalgia, that's one of our best days of the year. So much variety. We've got rally cars, we've got racing cars, F1 cars. There's some amazing stuff that comes.
It was 2 days. It was two days.
2 days. Yeah,
of car porn. Wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was. I mean, I didn't want to leave the place. In fact, I left at 10 o'clock on Sunday night.
Yeah.
The following weekend.
Probably. And I was just getting into my old banger, and Will Nichols invited me over to this little barbecue at his rather spacious motorhome, and we had a fabulous time talking about rally cars. It was great.
Fantastic.
He probably avoided me because I'd probably bore them all to death.
Well, it was a great weekend, but tomorrow we're going to come back tomorrow after today, and we're going to see action could it be like that time we were here when Hill Records were going one after another?
Oh, what that day that was.
What a day that was.
Do you think this would be the perfect time to remind people about the special offer that is on this weekend to become a member of the MAC?
I think so.
Go for it. Yeah, it's a mega offer.
If you love this hill and you love hill climbing, which, let's face it, how couldn't you? And you want to come back tomorrow, why not become a member of the MAC? Because if you become a member today, firstly, you will get your money back for today's entry ticket. And secondly, your membership will be for all of the rest of the meetings, including tomorrow and the Harvest Festival and all of next year as well. So it's a fantastic time to become a member, and you also help support and maintain this incredible facility for the next 118 years. So if you want to become a member, pop to the MAC membership tent. Well, it's not a tent, it's a shed halfway up the hill between Kennel and Crossing. Talk to the lovely team in there and do become a member. It's actually really good value. If you want to come to multiple meetings, it's cheaper, but also you help to support this wonderful hill. How was that? Good pitch?
You know what? Fair play, and it's great value.
It is a great value.
This is, you could say, the iconic hill. I've got cars.
You've got Graham Wynn.
I got Graham Wynn. Oh, I've got Graham Wynn in the GR59 Gold. 4-litre Judd engine. OBE, Graham, 70-odd years old, grandfather, and still drives it like he stole it.
It's a fantastic car, just rotates the car beautifully through Bottomers. Just gets it literally to the millimetre against the bank. Fantastic, and Graham's across the line.
For a 25.23, 25.23, second and a half quicker than he went this morning. Well done, Graham.
Just the 161 miles an hour of the line.
Is that all? Cantering. Right, who have we got next? We've got Harry Pick in the OMS 28. This one has the XD engine in the back, so the same engine as Alex Summers and Jack Cottrell. To you.
He certainly has. A young Charger from Leamington Spa. This is the latest OMS, proper V8 engine in the back. What's not to like?
Well, exactly. What is not to like? And it beautiful through the S's as Harry, really controlled, really well mannered, and across the line.
Across the line to a 26.99, 26.99. We await a car. I suspect there's a slight delay due to driver changing going on. I can see an orange DJ Delara of Jack Cottrell with Jack Cottrell installed. I can't, but I don't think he's coming next. I will tell you who we have in just a moment. Let's wait and see. It does take a little bit of time to do the driver changes for these big cars. It is Jack. Jack's going to come to the line now. So hopefully more fuel in the car than this morning. Jack still, even though with the issue this morning, did a very quick time and was on to be in the well into the 25s before the car ran out of fuel. So let's see what he can do now. He's on the line in the DJ Delara. So this is Delara Formula 3 chassis, DJ conversion with aero, and Cosworth XD engine, so a pretty impressive package. Been getting quicker and quicker in this car this year after getting to I think this is the third season he's been in the car, really getting to grips with it. Now leaves the line. Let's go, Jack. Rockets past me into the first corner and into your sight now.
He's certainly looking good. Now, Jack is a talented young driver, genuinely, really classy. Anyway, his lines are impeccable as he approached bottom S.
Yeah, he is one of the real good guys of the paddock. They're all good guys, but Jack's particularly lovely, isn't he? A great guy through. Fantastic driver as he pilots through the S's beautifully and across the line.
Into the 24s easily. 24.49, 24.49, well into the 24s. Next, we've got the AFS P40. We have Richard Summers aboard, Alex's dad, driving the car his family created, really, as it was a team effort to build it. Alex did a lot of the work on CAD, but everybody was doing carbon fibre work and everything, so it really is a family creation. Sounds brilliant with the 2.5 litre Cosworth V6 howling away in the back. Richard's off the line and he turns nicely into kennel to you.
Yeah, isn't this just a lovely sight to build a car basically in your workshop garage, amazing, that then can compete in the British Hillclimb Championship. Fantastic effort.
It's incredible, and Summers family, very clever people, and yeah, we're through the S's, no problem at all, nice and steady, and we're across the line.
Across the line now into the 27s. Well done, Richard. 27.99, 27.99, 124 across the line. If you don't follow Alex Summers on social media, I would, because he shows you loads of videos about how they built this car. It's fascinating, so do follow him. Anyway, Morgan Jenkins on the hill now in the Pilbeam with you.
Indeed, yes, this classic old Pilbeam, 2013 built, so beautiful build on this car. Not many of these around.
Oh, absolutely, and a little sprod of power as it goes between the two S's, and there's such a lack of mass with that car. The engine really throws it towards the finish line and we're across.
Time for Morgan Jenkins, 26.33, 131 miles an hour across the line. That's a good time from Morgan into the 26s. Next on the line, we have the unmistakable green of the works OMS with Steve Owen aboard. Leaves the line now, rockets past me, turns into Keno out of my sight.
Yeah, excellent driver. Steve builds these cars up at York, and I've just found out he really loves his motorbikes as well.
Oh, proper biker, one of my own. And drives beautifully out of bottom S, great out of top S, just a bit of soaring at the wheels are sorted out. Short shifts his way, it must be said, almost across the finish line.
Into the 26s, 26.48, 125 miles an hour across the line. I don't have the Uren Nicola Mingis car, we haven't seen it, so we've got Trevor Willis on the hill in the OMS 28 with you.
Scary Trevor, yeah, what a driver this fella is. He's already a winner of the championship. He's such a regular. He's won runoffs this year in this car.
Takes a beautiful line through top S. Takes a wide entrance into bottom S. I haven't seen that for a long time. But whether he outbraked himself or whether he meant that, it's hard to tell. But he crossed the line either way.
Into the 25.16, 25.16. Stays 6th in class at the minute. We have Will Hall on the line. Did a 23.87 with his first run this morning in the Gould GR59 with the 4-litre judge in the back. Leaves the line. It grips and just rockets off the line. 1.95 second start. He's already with you.
He's one talented driver as well, actually. He's got a car now that can really do his skills justice. This is a marvellous looking thing, isn't it? Fantastic.
Yeah, he seems like he's really dialed into this car. It looks so planted, this GR59. Out of all of the GR59s, it feels like this is one of the most stable wheels across the line now already.
He's going to be quick. 23.77, 23.77, so a 10th quicker than this morning. 138 across the line. They're still dialing in these cars with the new rear downforce, so they're still working out how it's going to work on a high downforce hill, a high-speed hill like Shelsley. Alex Summers is with you.
Alex Summers, what a talent he is in this Firestorm. My goodness me, he's running Matthew Ryder all the way this year to that championship.
And he's pushing on is Alex. Beautiful through the S's. Come on, it's all about that horsepower now. What's he going to do? Is this going to be a statement time?
23.12, 23.12. It is a statement time. We're not far off the 22s.
That's staggering stuff. This is amazing for a practice on a Saturday afternoon.
Having said that, we've got a red flag, and I can see marshals running over the horizon. So possibly Alex might not have stopped. Hopefully nothing too serious, but I can see I've got a course car going up the hill. I've got ambulance going up. So let's just see what happens. Obviously, we've got the gravel trap, and these cars are tremendously safe. So let's see what happens in the end.
Okay, so we've only got a few more practice runs, haven't we, Billy? And then
yes.
We've got. So have we got the Ferraris and things to come again?
Yes, we will.
Yeah, okie dokies. All right, so we just take a breath, see what's happening, and it has been pretty exciting thus far, hasn't it?
Yeah. Just going to step away from the mic for just a second.
Yeah, so we've it was breathless, really, isn't it? It's been a fantastic plethora of cars coming up this hill today, isn't there, Chris? It's been
I tell you what, yeah,
breathless
for a Saturday. Shelsley Walsh, I mean, from my position here, because I know you're around the corner, so you're only looking up towards the top, but I have like pole position on looking around. Car park is pretty full. There's a lot of spectators here for a Saturday. That's amazing. Thank you all for coming. Incredible.
It is incredible.
And actually, when we think how wet the Team Valley was earlier in the year, it's all drying out a treat. The crops are all beginning to get harvested and stuff. Because all that down in the valley, that was all waterlogged at the start of the season, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was. We had to cancel public access, didn't we? In fact, did we have to cancel an event altogether because there was nowhere to park, or did we run the event but without spectators? I think.
Yeah, I think we ran without spectators. Yeah. We had the British Championship round at Prescott got postponed, and in fact is on next weekend.
Yeah.
It was a very wet start. Harewood, they lost their British Championship meet as well.
Right.
So it was such a wet start, and then you look at it now, you think it never happened, but that's the vagaries of British weather.
That's the English summertime, isn't it? That is the English summertime.
But Shelsley, in the summer, on a day like today, and on the championship weekend, when Sunday, particularly when everyone comes in, the big crowds come in on a Sunday. Yeah. I mean, it's a privilege to be here. It's a privilege to watch it.
Oh, indeed, it is.
I mean, we got pole position seats.
Hello, team.
We have indeed. Hello, Billy.
So I've just been to talk to the guys in the hut. Alex Summers had a slight issue over the finish, but he is out of the car.
Okay.
And he got out of the car under his own steam.
Oh, well,
so he's okay. Good. I think a bit of front wing damage, but he is out of the car. So Team Summers in the paddock, if you can hear me, he is out of the car. And he's self-extricated. He got himself out of the car, so he's okay.
All good. Okay.
Hopefully, Alex is in good form. That's great. He was certainly absolutely flying. And Andy Smith can probably get that car rock and roll for tomorrow.
The positive side of things, I saw the ambulance. The fact is I can still see the ambulance, which is it's always just a precaution. But the fact is I can just see it over the finish line. It's not gone into the distance.
Yeah, he'd actually got out of the car before before anybody got to him.
Yeah,
so he's okay.
Fine.
And I
The
can
recovery
see,
truck is just coming up now from kennel.
Yeah, I think he's in the kitty litter. So
is he in the kitty litter? Is he? Well, that's what it's there for. Obviously, he was going.
Otherwise, you visit the Durlings for tea.
He was 147 over the finish, so it wasn't exactly hanging about.
You must have to jump on the brakes surely straight away as soon as you flash through the flag.
The finish line is now one of the biggest braking zones at Shelsley Walsh.
Yes.
Yes. I've got.
In fairness, they've said, I've always been told that you should always walk the hill at Shelsley, particularly if you've not been here before, because that is a genuine shock how quickly the finish line, and the gravel trap comes up basically.
Also got Team Hames opposite me. Paul having a go faster ice cream after his run.
Oh, I'd like to do that. I'd like an ice cream.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we're in ice cream wastelands, you and me, Lloyd, aren't we?
Oh, an ice cream would be great.
Oh, you can see it. You can even see it.
I can see the ice cream, but I can't get to the ice cream because I'm on the other side of the course.
It's that lovely Bennett's ice cream, the honeycomb crunch, things like that.
I'm on the other side.
Clotted cream, all that stuff, and you can see it.
It's like Alcatraz. I can see freedom, but I can't get to it.
They famously had an ice cream stand just across the bay at Alcatraz. That was
they just park. Yeah, they park a transit van opposite Alcatraz.
What was it? Martin Luther King said, "I have seen the ice cream van. It's in the distance."
Something like that. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it was.
Yes. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, last meeting I did feel a bit mean because we were here till 7. And Lloyd was stuck in the wrong side of the hill and I had a beer brought to me in the commentary box. And I think
I was up in top box.
It was you.
Yes,
it was you, wasn't it? I was describing over radio how tasty the beer was.
I took you the beer. I delivered the beer, Billy.
It was a dry zone
because it was a long day that day.
It was a dry zone down here until 6.
The afternoon. I think I got in there. What was it? 1, 1:30, 2 o'clock, and it was like say 7 o'clock. We left the box.
I didn't get back to Brixton till about 11.
Wow, yeah.
And
so that's at least an hour past a decent bedtime.
It was my girlfriend's first ever hill climb. Bless her.
Yeah,
she's coming back. She's coming back tomorrow.
But she's still with you, is she?
Yes, yes, for some reason. But she came to her first ever hill climb. And I was like, it'll be finished 5-ish. Look, if it's a slow day, it might be 5:30, 5:45. 7 o'clock, and we were waiting the runoff. I was like, oh goodness, this isn't right.
What are you doing? Are you camping tonight, Billy? What are you doing?
I'm at Castle Warburton tonight.
Castle Warburton. Oh, you're living it up in the Team Valley, aren't you? There?
Yeah. But yes, just to repeat what I said, Alex is okay. He got himself out of the car, so he had an issue after the finish, but he's absolutely fine. So just thought I'd let you know.
What of the Airstream, Billy? We've got that. Still got the Airstream. You never thought about sort of stopping in there? That's pretty cool.
I've got to get yes, but it lives in a storage unit near Banbury. It's about half an hour from where my dad lives, so I'd have to go there, get it out the storage, and then bring it here, and that would take half a day. So
is it MOT'd?
Oh yeah.
It's all ready to rock and roll.
It's got to be worth it. It's got to be worth it.
But then hang on a minute.
Chill on the hill.
Castle Warburton sounds pretty good to me. That's not a bad place to stay, surely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you like to hear something that's going to make you jealous?
Well, you're obviously going to tell us.
Well, a very kind gentleman just knocked on my commentary door and said, "I am the ice cream man. Would you like an ice cream?" To which I said, "Yes." So he's going to bring me one.
That's probably Kevin. That's probably Kevin, isn't it?
And he's bringing me an ice cream.
He won't bring me one because he'd have to come all up the hill.
Yeah, but I will. What I can do, because you know what they say, hearing about it on commentary is pretty much as good as eating it yourself. So I'll make sure to tell you all about how tasty it is.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
I'm
sure you will.
I'm never coming to Top Box ever again. Well, I'm staying in the paddock. There's free ice cream. There's free ice creams thrown around the place.
Well, obviously, and you got young Chris coming back to see us tomorrow, haven't we? So,
unbelievable.
Yeah. So it's going. And Billy's doing his paddock walk again. He's going to be having a goss.
Hopefully. Speaking to some very happy runoff winners. By the way, I just heard what the plan is for tomorrow, and so you know, first thing that everybody will have a practice run, and then we will have first timed runs, and then a tin top challenge, and then a runoff, and then a practice run again, timed runs again, and then another tin top challenge, and another runoff. By the way, a pickup truck has just arrived back in the paddock, sporting pieces of wing look like front
Well,
wing.
I can see over the horizon a long Hiab arm. So
which would suggest it's not coming out of the gravel.
Yes.
Let's hope it's just a front wing.
Hope so. Well, either way, Alex can fix it. I'm sure Alex and the guys will fix it.
I think I can see Alex in. Yes, Alex is actually back down here now.
Oh, nice.
I can see him. So.
Oh, that's good. He's back with the parents, and that's good. So.
I'll pop and check if he's all right, and I'll pop back.
Thank you.
Okay. You get all the nice jobs, don't you, eh?
He's actually not going to check if he's actually going to just eat his ice cream in peace.
You know
I think that's what it is.
He's going to do that because he doesn't.
He's playing the hero. He's playing the hero. I'll go and check on Alex, but actually he's just going to eat his ice cream.
Do you know, that is spot on, actually, Lloyd. You've got him sussed out, haven't you, really?
It's not my first rodeo, mate.
Hey, well.
I have strawberry sauce on mine.
Is this why they send us up the hill, is it? I think this is the reason, isn't it? You know, you go on up the hill, chaps. I'll struggle away in Vauxhall.
Go up the top. Go and enjoy the view. Isn't it a lovely? Isn't it a lovely view over there? Absolutely fantastic. You can just see over the meadows. The Team Valley's fantastic, isn't it? I'll have all the ice creams and beer at the bottom. So that's shocking.
I'll tell you, it must be just been promoted, hasn't he? Basically, he's in Druitt country, isn't he?
Can't believe it. Can you?
But well, I have the view. I got to say, I have the view. Here.
What's the car park like? You still see that lovely yellow Capri that you were talking about earlier?
You know what? It's still there. It's still there. The row of the lovely front row of the beautiful cars. What did I see down there? Is that Capri? There was a lovely couple of minis down there as well, which was really nice. There was there's one moving. It looks a bit sort of Porsche type thing. Yeah, I think that one's going home. Oh, I'll tell you what. There's an ice cream van. I can see it down there.
Don't.
I know, but I can't get near it.
Let's not even talk about it. I must admit, I can see beside there's a DJ Firestorm flying through the air just over the crest of the. I've just sat with my back against the commentary box and just watching this DJ Firestorm just sort of floating over the horizon. It's quite weird.
Well, certainly Alex was on a mission there for a Saturday, wasn't he? He put a statement out, and of course we've yet to see Wallace and Matt, haven't we?
Well, when you think we are within 1 second of a record, I mean that's some going for a practice, isn't it? Really.
Once all the adrenaline's going on a Sunday and it's all the runoff, that's got to be worth a second, doesn't it?
Well, with the right tyres and the right conditions, it's going to be even hotter tomorrow.
Well, they won't be running their best tyres today, will they?
No,
they'll be probably on the old remolds today, aren't they?
Best tyres will be tomorrow. Yeah. We'll have the weather tomorrow. Yeah. We will have even more rubber on the track tomorrow. Do you know what? The more you think about it, you know, if somebody said to me a week ago, all the record's going to go that week. Maybe not. But the more we talk about it, the more I could be convinced.
The track looks in order, doesn't it? I think it looks brilliant. We've got rid of, like you say, all that rubbishy, greeny stuff that was there at the start of the season, that dampness. But now they're in racer mode, aren't they?
But when you get, you know, if you got Matt, who should have the power to get that record. I mean, you know, without putting any pressure on it. Last time I saw Matt, he had his little bump, and but the car didn't look quite settled all weekend. Now they've got this new rear wing. The Goulds are looking a lot more settled, and hopefully they can apply all of that performance into what could be a bit of a result tomorrow.
Are we assuming then that they had that new rear wing at Wiscombe last week when he obliterated the record?
Do you know what? That's a good question. I don't know. That's a very good question.
I think they
did. Do you think they did?
Hopefully.
Well, let's see how it works. I mean, Shelsley Walsh is a power course. The GR59 has got a little more power than Alex's Firestorm, but obviously Alex is a fantastic driver, just as Matthew is as well. But we are also not to discount Wallace. I mean, Wallace last time the last event he'd had a bump and he wasn't quite feeling himself, I don't think.
Hello team.
But he seems in good spirits this time. So, you know, never discount
Wallace. is now the dark horse, whereas before he's 4 times champion. We can't write Wallace off, can we?
No, of course not.
How can we not?
Of course not.
Now, did I hear that Billy was back in town? Okay.
Two things.
By the way,
firstly, I did just go and have a chat with Alex, and he's perfectly all right.
Yeah.
It was a rear wing failure. But they're confident they've got the bits to get it fixed tomorrow. They've got another wing, and
good.
So he's fine. He's
And the car, the understraight's not all.
Bit tatty, he said, but fine.
The car. We're about to see the car because it's heading back down the course now on the back of a truck. So we're about to see that.
But he did an incredible job to miss everything. Anyway, so firstly, that's great news.
Secondly,
the ice cream has arrived in the paddock. And if you listen,
here he goes.
Have you got a flake in there?
I have got a flake.
Oh, hang on. Suit you, sir. Suit you, sir.
It's lovely, that.
Are you liking your ice cream, sir?
Yeah, you guys should get one of these. They're really nice.
Great. Yeah, I'll get one of those delivered at some point next week.
You should have one. They're good.
I'm pleased to report it is pure. The firestorm is looking absolutely, if not a little dusty, as it should be, a lesser rear wing.
Yeah, he did amazingly to miss everything, and so.
Just coming around the S's now. Yes, so the great thing, Alex. Great to hear you're back in town. Everything's all good. Car looks to be repairable with any luck, so that's all good. And then tomorrow, hopefully, you'll be mixing it again and breaking a hill record.
Yeah.
Well, the tow truck is just flashing its lights, so it's just coming into my view now. So I'm going to have a steely eye on this dusty firestorm, and here we go. So yeah. Okay.
I think she was a blues singer, Dusty Firestorm.
Well, I tell you what, the front end looks remarkably good, like you say, missing the back wing, but that's fine. Let's get it sorted. Back to Andy Smith. There, you work your magic, Andy.
Yes. So I'm hoping there'll be a bit of sweepage to go off at the top of the hill to remove essence of wing, but hopefully there shouldn't be too much else because he ended up in the gravel.
Well, I've got red flags in at the top of the course now.
Oh, okay.
So I think we're just waiting for the course car to park up back at bottom S.
Can you hear him going? Oh, okay. Slurp, slurp, slurp.
I really would like an ice cream. I can't even. If there's one thing I really want right now is an ice cream.
You should have it. They're nice.
Toughen up, mate. Toughen up. We're made of sterner stuff than that. We're we're old soldiers.
I'm made of soft stuff. Very much like my ice cream.
You little tinker, you little tinker.
So we got flags in. We've got. I'm just looking.
Yeah,
so we've just got drivers
in.
reinstalling, because the thing is, it might take a couple of minutes before we get going, because Matthew, Ryder, and Wallace, who we've got to go, were both ready to go and got out of the cars to make sure Alex was all right. So they've just got to reinstall them themselves, put helmets back on. Also, these cars are obviously so fine-tuned, they actually have to sort of cool them down and warm them back up again and make sure they're at prime operating temperature. So we might have just a minute or so before we see these two cars, as it will be Matthew first, and then it will be Wallace in car, just putting helmet on. Matthew the same. So we should be good to go any second. Now they've taken the DJ back, or the truck's taking it right back over the other side of the road, but actually we might want it in the paddock. So or they might take it, they don't live too far away, they might just take it home to fix it.
I hadn't thought of that, actually. That'd be, but they'll need the recovery truck still here, won't they?
The recovery truck's just crossing the road, so he's taking the car to the trailer, I expect.
Now Wallace, he's a wily old bird, right? He isn't 4 times champion for nothing. He did a 25 this morning, didn't he? And knowing Wallace today, I think he'll have a nice cruise up there in about 24 and a half, 25, something like that. I don't think he'll be breaking any records today. But Matthew, what do you think he'll do?
I think he'll do another 23. With my guess, Matthew has fired up the big Gould Judd. He's brought it to the line, 1 burnout of tyres. Lines up, driver's side right of the start line. It's just being wheeled back into place. Matthew just getting everything ready on the steering wheel, engaging. These cars have launch control and traction control, which all has to be set right to be able to do the starts. Builds up the revs, drops the clutch. Here comes Matthew Ryder, rockets past me. 2.12 second start. He's with you.
He's certainly not hanging about. His line's beautiful through Kennel. Yeah, lovely, fantastic. He's already gone through the speed trap into bottom S.
flashes into sight, lots of power and lots of speed as he ends up absolutely flying through the S's. What's he going to do here? Loads and loads of power. This is going to be a 22, this is? No,
23.25, 23.25.
Close.
That'll do nicely, thank you very much.
And he looked quite within itself as well, to be honest. It looks, you know how before we saw Matthew's kind of just looked a little bit on the ragged edge. None of that this time around.
It's good to see.
He tell you what, his lines were impeccable, but he wasn't really on the limit, which you didn't expect him to be, but he looked like he was cruising for Matthew.
Is there a second in there?
Oh, it's only practice.
I wouldn't bet against it, I'll tell you that after what I saw last week.
Now we've got Wallace on the line. What can Wallace do? Brings the car to the start line, lines the car up, slap bang in the middle of the road. Tom New watches on from the side of the start area. Wallace puts his visor down, builds up the revs, drops the clutch. Here we go. 1.92 second start. He's already with you.
He certainly is, and just looking through crossing now. Yeah, it takes an easy line through crossing. He's keeping to the middle of the track here. He's cruising.
Rolls it into bottom S. Just turns it back through top S and now uses all of that power to get him across the line.
This is going to be quick. It's going to be into the 23s. Well done, Wallace. 23.93. 23.93. So that's...
And he didn't look to be trying, Billy, nor did Matthew, to be fair.
I would agree with that.
Wallace would be very happy with that because I think he was driving really smooth there.
Quick time there then. Now we've got Simon Durling on the hill. This is the sports racing and racing cars manufactured up to 1971 in this lovely little Alpine that he drives very, very nicely indeed.
Well, he'll be cruising up the hill too because he lives up the top there. He'll have a cup of tea probably at the top anyway waiting for him. That is a beautiful little car. He's got a lovely collection too.
Yeah, fantastic car. He chucks it into bottom S, and such is the softness of the suspension. You can see the whole car moving around. That's so pretty. I really want that car. That's
absolutely
lovely,
beautiful, isn't it?
That's just lovely. Oh, yeah, I see here you're still eating ice cream.
Heading up towards the finish. He crosses the line, 39.12. Stephen Palmer now on the hill in the Lotus 51B.
To you.
With me, absolutely. Yeah, just clips the curb stones on the inside. Normally you'd want to avoid, but you can do that with a car with a bit more suspension travel, which this one has. But across the line, no dramas.
Heads up towards the finish, 34.01. 34.01. Sarah Thorne on the hill now in the Lotus 2022.
One of their little collection of classic Lotuses. Very pretty car. She got injured earlier in the year, but she's back in action now. So, yeah, taking that, and her husband are up in a bit.
Yeah, with me now, and just rolls it through bottom S, rolls it out of top S, nice and straightforward. Beautiful red steering wheel on that Lotus, iconic, and takes fourth gear, takes fifth, and we're across the line.
Heads up the finishing straight to record a 36.09, 36.09. Richard George leaves the line in the Chevron that he shares with Amanda. Goes very well in it. Doesn't he just? Comes up from Kent, but as I say, we all want to take this car home. It's not going to be happening for us guys, but nevertheless, isn't that a beautiful sight to see that car going up Shelsley Walsh on a sunny day?
Such a good colour, isn't it? That kind of like Merlot red kind of sort of, it's just a lovely colour, isn't it? Really, really nice. But yeah, through S's safely, and we're off towards the finish. Meanwhile, we've got Andrew Tippett on the hill in the big Brabham with you.
Yeah, lovely big Rover Buick V8 in the back of it. He rebuilt this car a few years ago, and now it looks absolutely pristine.
Indeed it does, yeah, just rumbling into sight. Nothing crazy, just feeds it through and then puts that power back on. And away we go towards the finish. Heads towards the finish, does a 31.86. Malcolm Thorne on the hill now in this beautiful little Lotus.
Yeah, beautiful thing, isn't it? Yeah, look at Malcolm, very distinctive. He's got the right coloured helmet on for the car as well. Perfect in the Lotus colours.
Indeed, yeah, with that lovely rear wing, bit of power oversteer on the exit of bottom S, turns it into top S, and then foot flat to the balls, floors it as we head towards the finish. To record a time of 32.56, 32.56. John McKenzie on the hill now in the Ford Cortina Mark 1. Love the livery on this car. Sounded like it had a slight slipping clutch earlier, I seem to remember.
Yeah, great to see him. He's travelled all the way from Scotland. He drove through the night, he was telling me. This is, I think, the little cross-flow engine in this one, so it's not got the twin cam, but great to see it.
It surely is, absolutely. It sounded like it had some clutch slip earlier, so how are we looking now? Certainly won't have changed the clutch in this time, perhaps, I can't imagine. I think we're still struggling with some clutch issues there, possibly.
Meanwhile, we've got Robin Johnson on the hill in the Tiga with you.
Certainly have, yeah. They've campaigned this car now for a couple of years now, and I think it's a lot of fun motoring for not a lot of money.
Absolutely, yeah, a little chirp of a brake, of a tyre squealing as we lock up, and the car turns itself through bottom S and through top S and takes a few gears and off towards the finish.
To record a time coming up now of 35.12. Roger Dean's on the hill now in the big booming Lola.
The big Formula 5000 Lola, old school racing car, that one, isn't it? Isn't that lovely though? 5 litres of Chevrolet power up to bottom S.
Yeah, again, rumbles into sight, turns it left, turns it right. Beautiful car, that really is, and rumbles across towards the finish.
To record a time of 35.6, 135.61. And now we've got Peter Herbert on the hill in the Porsche 911. This is the car that you two really love.
Oh man, come on. This is not fair looking at stuff like this. Oh, I want to take it home. Take it home. Look at that. Isn't that classic old school 911 air-cooled engine? And apparently it's got a 3.8 litre engine in there too, which is big for a 911.
Yeah, absolutely. This is just such a pretty car, isn't it? Let's have a look. Just to be clear. No, it said Carrera 2 on the back, Chris. I must apologise from earlier. I know they started with a Carrera 4 with these, but that says Carrera 2 on the back now. I thought I saw 4 earlier.
You're forgiven, Lloyd.
It is a rear-wheel drive. Drive.
Proper thing, isn't it?
Lovely, mate.
Quick time, 35.10, 35.10. That concludes practice for everybody on the 2-day meeting. But don't go anywhere yet, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got the second timed runs of the 1-day meeting cars. So we have the Ferraris to come again, and we have the Jags to come again, and the 1-day meeting road cars. So stick with us. We've got a little bit more to go yet, including a demo. We've just seen, by the way, the Gould GR59s, which are the latest from Gould. How about seeing Genesis? How about seeing the first ever Gould hill climb car? Well, Sean Gould is in it as we speak on the start line, or actually in the paddock. He's going to do a demo run in this car. Gould have been rebuilding this car over the last year or so. 2.5 litre Hart engine in the back. Won the British Hillclimb Championship with Chris Kramer aboard in 1985. Beautifully built car. Immaculate to look at. Great to see it here. Sean is just climbing aboard. Which, how is Sean down? Oh, because Sean's the first driver. I was about to say we've just seen him go up the hill, but of course we haven't, because he's the first driver when he shares with Matthew Ryder. So they're just getting that car running. I don't know if the batch will come back down and then Sean will run, or if Sean is going to run before the batch. So he's not got a helmet on at the minute, which makes me think he'll run in a moment or two, probably after the batch returns. But are there cars going back past you?
Certainly are.
Oh, that will answer that question.
And me.
Oh, yes. So cars returning to paddock. Then we're going to have the demonstration of the Gould, and we're also going to have the 1-day meeting. So we've got the Penrose Pilby MP92 to go again. We've got all the road cars, so the Mazdas and the BMW Z4 and some Elises and some Clios for Lloyd. And then we've got the Ferraris and we've got the Jags as well. So lots to look forward to in the next 2 batches to conclude their day of competition. I'll see if I can take us through... good. I've remembered how my computer works. I can take you through how we're standing. So the Classic Marks Speed Challenge event. So these are your the cars that are running just today. The class is currently being led by Rob Pack in a time of 33.37. I'll just check what Rob is driving. Rob is in the TVR Tuscan. Second is currently Johnny Toon on a 35.20. Johnny driving... Where's he gone? I've lost him on my sheet. I'll come back to you with what Johnny's driving. And third, Rob Toon on a 35.41. So the Toon battle for second place is only separated by 0.2 of a second. We've also got the Ferraris, led by Rob Samuels on a 33.18, which Lloyd will be happy to hear is that 458 Speciale, which you love so much.
So good.
Second is Richard Preece, Richard driving the 430 Coupe. Third, Iwan Atwood in the Dino, the little 308 GT4 Dino. So the first one of the ones we saw. In the Jaguar Drivers Club Speed Championship, Hayden Spedding leads the way on the 35.48 in the E-Type. Then David Rogers on a 37.67 in the F-Type. And then Phil Taylor on a 44.01 in the C-Type. So we have all that to look forward to, which will be good. And as I said, we've also got a few other class cars to come as well, including the Penrose car, which is coming to the line now. It's an Penrose battle in sports Libra cars over 2 litres, so they're just doing the one-day event. Currently led by Robert on a 34.09 and Bob on a 34.48. So let's see if they can go quicker in their second run. We've got the Pilbeam on the line with the big... by the way, I think this car is for sale. Because... at least it was, because it was definitely on Race Cars Direct for a little while, so I think it's for sale. Anyway, let's see how Robert gets on. Rockets off the line, 2.1 second start, and he's popping a huge squirt of flame throughout the exhaust as he disappears out of my view.
Absolutely incredible thing, isn't it? Yeah, I heard it was for sale. Anyway, he's making his progress up the hill, and they've come a long way from, well, he comes from Northumbria, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big old thing there, isn't it? What a fantastic car. Rumbling once more past my commentary box and off towards the sunny finish. Fantastic.
Time for Robert Penrose, 33.27, so goes quicker than he did this morning. Next on the hill, the BMW Z4 of Alan Davies. To you.
Yeah, got him now. Yeah, that's right. So we've got quite a few more cars to watch this afternoon, which is great. Me and Lloyd were having a good old chat about these Z4s. Pretty desirable car, actually.
Yeah, they are, absolutely. They're a bit more of a sporty, they're a bit more of a driver's car, these, than the model that followed it, or to be honest, any that's since have been and gone. But I had the M Coupe version of this, and it was an absolute riot, a real animal of a car. Lovely thing, I like a Z4.
That had the 3.2 straight 6 in it.
That's the one.
One of my favourite engines of all time,
it's incredible.
Alan Davies does a 37.18 in the Z4. Melvin Cox now on the hill in the first of our MX-5s. He's with you.
Yeah, we've got 3 of these, haven't we? That's right. And they're a brilliant car to start hill climbing in, and they're just as good to drive them down to the shop. So they can pretty much drive them as standard on the hills and have a lovely day's hill climbing.
You certainly can. And you can drive them home again as well, because they're so reliable, aren't they? They're just, I mean, there's parts aplenty for them. There's so many things that you can race them in. They're just a great all-rounder to either have a lovely road car or race car.
And the time is 43.38 for Melvin Cox. Norman Snowden on the hill now in another MX-5 with you.
Yeah, I've not seen much of Norman before, I don't think. But anyway, I've seen plenty of these MX-5s. Anyway, he's, I don't know if it's his first visit to Shelsley. Do you recall seeing him?
I don't, but I think that's the joy of these one-day meetings. The beauty of them is they bring drivers who may not be such regular competitors to Shelsley and to get them into hill climbing, which is great to see.
Completely agree, as he makes his way past my commentary box and heads off towards the finish.
And we wait for that time. We've got Brian Marshall on the hill in this lovely, I do like this Marcus Mancilla, it's really cool.
Big V8 power, yeah, fiberglass body, made in Westbury all those years ago.
Yeah, I can only imagine a Rover V8 powering this, and its front nose lifts up in the air for all that torque. But yeah, it sounds great as it heads across towards the finish line.
Heads a lot across the line doing a 39.79. Stuart Watson on the hill now in the slightly later MX-5. I think he might have missed a gear as he came off the line, but he's with you.
Yeah, these were the 2-litre versions, weren't they? And very nice too, a more stylish body, I would say.
Yeah, so you've got 6 gears. So you've got the 2-litre where you've got 6 gears and a limited slip differential. And so they're pretty well set up from standard, to be honest. But it looks like Stuart's just done his little bits of fettling with an exhaust and maybe a couple of intake modifications to get a little bit more power.
And he's across the line now to record a 39.50. Robert Orford on the hill now, with you in the MGB.
So heading up towards the S, through the into bottom S now.
Absolutely, yeah, just turns in just rather circumspectly, but puts the power on. Such is the lightness of the car, you can really adjust it, and takes third gear, and will take fourth gear, and we'll head across the finish line now.
As we wait for him to cross the line, Gordon Pearce is on the hill in the Cayman. He's with you.
He is indeed, yes. He's from Totnes, the Cayman S, another driver I've not seen before.
Yeah, with me, it's brilliant. This and takes a real tight line through bottom S, and really pushes out wide and uses all of the course and uses all of the available track, and yeah, heading now towards the finish line.
Heads up towards the finish to record a 37.29. Rob Toon is on the hill now in the Morgan. So the Toons are sharing a Morgan.
Well, I'm not sure if the Toons are sharing the Morgan, because I think there could be 3 Toons. There could be Dad and 2 sons. One drives a Clio, one drives the Fisher Fury, and one drives this, I think.
Well, either way, super aggressive on the exit of top S, just clips the bank slightly, but just only with the wheel, just kicking up the dust, but really quick run this.
Heads towards the finish. He's currently second in class. Let's see how he gets on. He does a 34.40. 34.40. Good time.
Rob, back to you.
Certainly is, yeah. What can he do about that Morgan? Certainly doesn't, on the face of it, look like he's carrying as much speed through the S's as Rob Toon, but the big V8 in that TVR should hopefully make up for it. I think he should be a bit quicker.
Heads up towards the finish, 34.25. 34.25. Rob Pack's slower than he went this morning, but still has the class win as we stand. Mike Brakes on the hill now. Fiesta.
He's from Reading. He's in, like you say, the ST150. As I say, they look fairly standard, and they're probably a bit like the Mazdas. You can drive them to the shops and back and here. So actually a cracking little hill climb car.
Same engine as the MX-5s. It's a 2-litre Ford drive Duratec, so 150 brake from standard, but they were always heavily restricted, so with a set of camshafts and exhaust and an intake, you would probably see 180 brake out of those, but across the line.
Across the line to do a 44.68. Chris Westwood is on the hill now. Chris,
yeah,
with
he
you.
certainly is. Yeah, Lotus Elise S2 K-Series engine, I think. Nice little car, actually. And it must handle brilliant, these, actually.
I've never driven an Elise. I've driven a VX220, and I thought it was nice, but I didn't fall in love with the non-turbo engine. But because I just think they're a lot more revvy in a Lotus Elise. I think it'd be a lot nicer. But either way, across the line.
Across the line for a 39.86. Matthew Wood is with you now in the MG ZR.
He certainly is, yeah. Again, a popular little rally car these days too, actually, in the class. The ZR always goes well.
Yeah, it did. They did I think Gwyndaf Evans back in the day sported an X-Power kit car version, an F2 car with well in excess of 250 horsepower, but more tame 160 brake horsepower from this car of Matthew Wood, and he crosses the line now.
To record a 41.16. Christopher Wood on the hill now in a Mazda, the turbocharged Mazda MX-5 Unos.
Oh, so you reckon that's a turbocharged? It doesn't say in the programme that, but...
Sounds like it.
It definitely is.
Or supercharged, but I think it's turbocharged.
It's definitely turbo. There was quite popular conversion. BBR Turbos always did a turbo conversion for them, just to give them that extra bit of poke the chassis could always deal with. But ragged through the S's, but across the line.
Heads up towards the finish, 37.60. Will Goff with you in the Alpha.
Yeah, do love the little Alphas. They are so pretty because they're a little 1700 turbocharged thing, but they're very, very light, aren't they? So that's what puts them in Porsche territory.
They certainly are. They don't even have any power steering. They're that light, but carbon tubbed, light thing, 1.7 litre Abarth derived engine, loads of power, and across the line.
Heads across the line now to a 37.40 for Will Goff. Nick Powell on the hill in the yellow Impreza.
Yes, the early Impreza, this one too, but a little 2-litre turbocharged, permanent four-wheel drive. And early Imprezas like this are usually hard to find, that they haven't rotted away.
Well, exactly. Well, this particular car, this is quite a rare beast. Actually, I think this is an import, and got all the right bits on it. Immaculate, actually, really immaculate. Possibly started its life in Japan, I think, that car, and was imported into this country.
Records a 39.97. Graham Godfrey on the hill now in the lovely Audi TT.
Yeah, local man, and going very nicely. Knows his way up the hill. Again, a little 1800 turbo engine, so it's got plenty of woof.
Certainly has, yeah. This is quite a famous car. I've seen this car quite a few times, or quite often sported on the hill climbs. And yeah, not making lots of noise and minimal fuss with the Quattro system, but we're across the line.
Crosses the line to do a 37.92. Sorry to you.
Yeah, well, we got one of them Renault things, them little Clio jobs. Lloydie,
we love them. I look forward to driving mine home later. It's a fantastic car. So yeah, it turns in beautifully through bottom S, leans on that front left corner, chucks it in, and now it's all up to the camshafts. Take it all the way to the red line, my boy, and then you'll be crossing the line.
So George Perks heads towards the finish, does the 38.37. Tom Magnay on the hill now. Ian, you've guessed it, it's a Renault Clio.
To you.
Brilliant, yeah. You can just see him just on almost 3 wheels as he heads through the bottom S and clips the curb over the drain cover out of top S and uses all that power again to try and get him towards the finish.
We'll wait for a time. Nigel Mee just leaves the line in front of me in the Subaru Impreza, the sort of blue and gold replica livery.
Yeah, it's on his way to me now, actually, to be fair. Very nice little car. This was similar to the one that Colin McRae would have driven, isn't it, Lloyd?
In as much it shares the same amount of doors and a windscreen, yes. But
okay.
But certainly being driven really spiritedly by Nigel Mee, which is great. And I think I heard he was a butcher, was he not?
Don't know about that one. He's from Leominster, so he could be. But
either way, crosses the line. He drives it perfect. He drives it like he should be driven.
But the recovery track is just reversing back now into Kennel, to its little home.
Yep, so that's the end of the batch.
Back in stage. Oh, is that end of batch, is it?
Yeah, end of the batch. So that's why they've sent the recovery truck back to Kennel after delivering the Summers DJ to the trailer. And that's the end of the batch. One batch to go, so we've still got the Ferraris and the Jags to come, and some of the dual-driven cars in the classes you just saw. I can give you some results from the day. We're awaiting Johnny Toon, who's going to be driving the Morgan Plus 8, which he shares with Rob in the next batch. So I can't give you the Classic Mark Speed Challenge classification yet because Rob Toon found a second in his second run to take second in that class. So Johnny needs to find 0.8 of a second to retake second, if you see what I mean. That was a lot of seconds in a small amount of time, I just said. But
so he needs to come second to finish second.
He needs to find 0.8 of a second to finish second.
And then there's a second in it to finish.
That's it.
Second.
You've got it.
It all sounds very confusing to an old bloke like me, I've got to tell you.
It's very confusing to
anyway,
in summary, I can't give you that yet.
Will win, won't
That's
they?
it.
That's the only one I know.
That's it. I can't give you that class yet in summary. But I can give you Class A1B for road cars up to 2 litres, which was won by George Perks on a 38.37. You just saw George heading up in his Clio. Second, Chris Westwood on a 39.86. Third place for Matthew Wood on a 41.16. Fourth place, Mike Brakes in the Fiesta on a 44.68. So it is a Clio victory there, followed by Chris Westwood in the Elise, then another Clio, and then the little Ford Fiesta. Class A2B, the winner is Christopher Wood, who was driving another Lotus Elise on a 37.14, followed by Will Goff in the Alpha on a 37.40. So that was really close between those two, actually. Class A3B, this is for series production cars, four-wheel drive of any engine capacity, was won by Graham Godfrey on a 37.35. He set that this morning, and Graham driving the Audi TT Mark 1, followed by Nick Powell in the Subaru Impreza, who did a 39.97. Tom Magnay was in a class of 1, so he won his class, on a 39.02. Tom driving one of the Clios. Nigel Mee, again in a class of 1 in the Sports Libra Saloon Cars class. Nigel driving that last Subaru Impreza you saw, he did a 36.57. Talk about consistency. This morning he did a 36.57. This afternoon he did a 36.58. So great consistency there. We await the second Penrose to be able to give you the Sports Libra results. So that is all I can give you for the moment. But I shall give you some more results after this batch. Cars coming back down the hill. So we are about to get flags in, and it's 10 to 4. We're doing I'm not going to say how we're doing. But yes, so...
worrying, we're doing quite well.
You've jinxed it now.
No, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. I'm confident. Everything's good.
Yes, one batch to go.
Shall I tell you something?
Please do.
I had a spy up the hill, and my spy came back down my commentary box, and he told me that when Alex went over the finishing line, the wing fell off, and then the car launched itself into a rotational spin into the gravel.
He missed everything.
Which is quite exciting, isn't it?
Scary.
Oh, of course. You got it on live stream, haven't you?
Well, no, I went to talk to him.
But
so he told me he had a wing.
Did they show it on live stream or not?
No, because the camera finishes on the finishing straight, and it sort of happened over the brow. So.
Right, okay.
Yes, had a wing failure, rear wing failure.
Oh, right.
And managed to miss everything.
Well, he did very well.
And end up in the gravel, which is...
That's skill.
Well, natural instinct, isn't it?
That's natural skill from Alex there. But, I think he'll be back at it. I'm sure they'll get it sorted. And we want him to get it sorted big time, don't we? Because we want him to keep his challenge up for the championship.
We do. I think tomorrow would be all the poorer if Alex wasn't competing. I think we want him in.
Yeah.
So anyway, flags are in. We've got a car coming to the line. We've got a Morgan +8 coming to the line. I love Morgans. I think they're brilliant. They're really so much character, so much personality. And they're just endlessly popular, aren't they? They're timeless.
Have you driven one, Billy?
I have not. Have you?
I haven't. But I think it's the sort of thing that I think
we should do.
We should do. And unfortunately, I know a guy.
Okay.
So I think we should go and have
we do that?
I think we should go and have a day at Morgan driving their stuff, because I have been told if ever you want to come and take one of our cars. And so I think let's go and do that.
I think we should, as we're now YouTube sensations. So
you have all the contacts, Lloyd, don't you? Because this is what you do.
Helps
and Billy, to be fair.
I know a guy that I can drive a Renault Clio anytime I like. His name's Lloyd Hackett.
Lloyd Hackett, but apparently it's an old knackered thing, isn't it? What he was telling me, anyway.
Yeah.
So don't buy that one, because it needs an engine, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Johnny Toon is with you in the Morgan.
I've got a tune, yeah. He's playing a tune on this Morgan now. Yeah, the Tune Boys. I thought this must be the two brothers perhaps having a run out in this weekend.
Absolutely. Well, this Morgan's been going amazing all weekend. It really has, carrying so much speed into bottom S. It's fantastic, and we're already out of top S, and we're heading towards the finish. It's just got to use all its horsepower now to see what happens.
Going to be close. Can he get back ahead of Rob? He just 34.57. No, just misses out by just under 0.2 of a second slower than Rob. So Rob Toon comes second in class, Johnny third, separated by 0.2 of a second. Rob Pack wins the class in the big TVR, but really close between the Toons there in their Morgan. 0.1 of a second in it. So we await a car. I think we're awaiting a very large Pilbeam with a very large V8 in it, but they're just doing the driver change, which will take a little bit of time. So we await the Penrose Pilbeam, hence the delay. And then we're going to have, we've also got some single seaters. So we've got Dougie Cant, who bought the ex-Schlanker Force and has been getting his signatures this year and getting quicker and quicker and quicker. Dougie, you need to come and do, once you've got your signatures and you're ready, you need to come and do the national rounds, because it'd be great to have you in the main 1100cc class. We're going very well in the car, learning it very well. Had a lovely chat with him. He was here at the Piston event a couple of weeks or so ago, because getting lots of runs in, and he's going brilliantly in the car, which is great to see. I hear a Pilbeam has been fired up. I see a Pilbeam moving. It's coming towards the start line now. So this will be Bob Penrose. Robert drove it previously. It will be Bob on board now. And he's on the start line, slap bang in the middle of the road. Lines the car up nicely, visor down, builds up the revs of the big 7-litre V8, drops the clutch, off he goes. Good start, 2.13 seconds to you.
Indeed he does. Yeah, what a fabulous thinking thing. I must admit, it is an impressive sight. It's got to be a really impractical car for hill climbing, and I think they bought a Porsche to replace this car.
Oh, have they?
That was what I was told last year, yeah.
Might explain why it's for sale.
Yes.
But once more rumbling under the commentary box and heads towards the finish.
As he heads towards the finish, Dougie Cant leaves the line. Good start, Dougie, 2.09 seconds. Let's see how he does. He's with you.
He's extremely rapid, is young Dougie, isn't he? He's a tree surgeon, he was telling me. But anyway, he certainly knows how to drive this car. And he's pretty new to this hill climbing game, isn't he?
He's only just got his national licence. He's been getting his B signatures this year.
Well, he's had a big sideways moment out of top S and a little bit ragged, but collects it all up and comes out of it alive, and he's away and across the finish.
Heads towards the finish, 28.42, so 2 tenths slower than this morning. So you were right, that moment cost him. Martin Duffield with you.
Yes, in the little Jedi, yeah. I'm very fond of the Jedi. It's very close to the barriers. He's certainly trying hard.
Certainly is. It's a nice size for hill climbing. It just goes a little bit wide under my commentary box, so has to get out the throttle, but either way, sorts it all out and he's across the line.
Rockets towards the finish. What's he going to do? 28.99. Well done, Martin, into the 28s. Great to see. By the way, the time for Bob Penrose was a 34.21. Now we've got Bill Drysdale on the hill in this lovely replica Porsche 904.
Isn't it splendid, actually? Yeah. He's a venerable 87 years of age, but I tell you what, if I was still driving as well as this at 87, I'd be pretty chuffed.
I completely agree, Chris. I'd be very, very happy with this as he appears into size. Lovely car. Sounds great. Sounds like a proper classic Porsche of the day. Fantastic.
Meanwhile, Richard Priest has left the line in the 430. He's with you.
He certainly is, actually. Yes, I was dreaming then. He's already got 5 now.
Were you dreaming of taking that Porsche home?
Well, I don't know what I was thinking about. Actually, no, I just looked in the programme. It said McLaren M1 Can-Am car of Anthony Taylor, but that's not here, is it?
No, I'm not sure it is. Ooh, close to the bank.
Very close to the bank as he leaves a trail of dust in his wake as he crosses the line, but all good.
Heads up the finishing straight, 35.98, slightly slower than this morning. Martin Jones on a hill in the 360 Ferrari. With you.
Well, yes, we got a nice little batch of Ferraris here. No David Snelson this weekend. He was down in the programme, but anyway, this is still a jolly good substitute, isn't it?
And it's a lovely car indeed as he arrives into bottom S to you.
Thank you very much. He's with me now and turns in left, turns right, and unleashes that wall of noise, Italian passion, as we head off towards the finish.
Up the finishing straight to record a 41.74. Martin, sorry, that was for Martin Jones. We've now got Anthony Smith on the hill in the 360 Spider. With you.
Isn't that lovely, actually? To be fair, it's you've got to love seeing, haven't you? But I like seeing the variety in the Ferraris too. And I thought Anthony Atwood, or was it Ewan, was incredibly quick earlier.
He was indeed.
I just like Ferraris. They're just special. They are special to me. I do like a Ferrari, and this one's getting roof up now as he turns right out of top S and off towards the finish.
You'll like this next Ferrari. This is the 458 Speciale, howling its way through Kennel to you.
It is very special too. Yeah, I can genuinely get excited about that one. That is definitely one to take home with you, isn't it? Fabulous.
I think this might well be my car of the day. Just the very fact that somebody's not locked it up in a garage and they're taking this thing out, wiggling it through the S's and firing it towards the finish. 560 brake horsepower in that thing. Unbelievable.
Can he beat his time from this morning? Let's see. Yes, he can. 34.257. Great time. Next on the hill, Stuart McCabe in the 328.
Yeah, I've got him in sight now, actually, yeah. So what sort of era are we talking on that car? It's a few years
late
old.
80s.
Late 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, great to see it.
Maybe early 90s, but I think late 80s.
We've got class record up for Rob Samuels there, so we'll have to confirm that. But as Stuart McCabe makes his way under my commentary box and off towards the finish.
Heads towards the finish now in the lovely 328. We'll see what the time is in a moment. He crosses the line to record a 41.08. Iwan Atwood on the hill now in another Ferrari, this time a 308 with you.
Yeah, this is the so-called less popular one, but I think, wasn't this the one that he went up really rapidly in earlier this morning? Was he third this morning in this?
Fourth, I think, but very quick.
Chucks it into bottom S, just sort of sends it in and see if the car followed him, and a bit of adjustment as he saws the steering to get it all sorted, but takes another gear and heads towards the finish.
Heads up the finishing straight now to record a 38.96. to slot into third place. You were right. He is third quickest. That's very impressive. You were right. Anyway, the Dino, what a car with you.
Oh, it's special, isn't it? I don't care how slow it gets, how far. I just don't bench it. It's been rebuilt at a cost of an awful lot, and that is a very, very special car, isn't it?
And again, the fact it's not sat in a garage somewhere just being pretty is great. I mean, it can do that very well, but the fact that we're here enjoying it in Shelsley Walsh, I've got all the time in the world for that. Sounds fantastic. That V6 is lovely. Takes another gear towards the finish.
This is a beautiful car as well. Phil Taylor in the C-Type Jag. What a car this is. He's with you.
He certainly is, yes. I mean, the C-Type, I saw my first D-Type this year at Prescott, which was absolutely incredible. And the C-Type is obviously just as pretty, isn't it, really?
Beautiful car. Can you imagine doing 180 miles an hour down the North Farm Straight, one of these?
Did they go that quick, the C-Type?
They were very slippery.
Wow.
Maybe not quite that, but the D-Type, they were fast.
That is incredible.
Well, you had a good few miles to hit that speed as well, to be fair, as Phil makes his way past commentary box and over the line.
Time for Phil Taylor, 42.24. Now the big bellowing F-Type on the hill of David Rogers.
Yeah, I'm not really so familiar with these, but this is some bit of kit, isn't it? It just absolutely looks the part. It sounds great. 5 litre supercharged, isn't it?
Yes, it is indeed.
Wow.
575 brake horsepower. They made it all-wheel drive because I think there was a few customers complaining that it was a little bit blurry with rear-wheel drive only, so they stuck four-wheel drive on it, and away we go. We're kind of 911 Turbo S quick with this thing, and we're off towards the line.
Heads up the finishing straight across the line to record a 37.64, 37.64. Good time, good improvement of 3/100ths of a second, so he's going quicker. Final car competing today, we've got Hayden Spedding on the hill in the E-Type.
Wow, yeah. See a lot of Hayden in this car. I don't know if you could call it a lightweight E-Type, because it's not a classic lightweight E-Type, but nevertheless, it's a lovely E-Type.
It surely is, yeah. It's kind of special made for hill climbing, isn't it? But turns left, turns right, fires it towards the straight, and for one final time, we're off towards the finish line.
Well, we've got one more car to go, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. Hayden Spedding records a 35.76, so slightly slower than this morning. We have one more car. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. 40 years of Gould engineering this year. 40 years of hill climb Goulds. Every single model that they've built, from the car you're about to see to the GR37, the GR51, the 55, the 61 and the 59 have all won British Hillclimb Championships. Sean and the team at Gould have been renovating this car. It's great to have it back with the 2.5 litre heart in it. He's coming up the hill now. It's absolutely beautiful. It's immaculate. Have a look at this stunning little car. Chris Kramer won the championship in this car in 1985. It's great to have it here, celebrating 40 years of one of the best manufacturers this sport has ever seen.
Yeah, absolute privilege to have this car here. It's a fantastic looking car. Turns left, turns right. Wonderful, wonderful car. Great noise. Off towards the finish.
That was something to savour, Billy.
Lovely,
Lloyd,
wasn't it?
that was something to savour. Just a quickie. So Rob Samuels, he did that class record. Yes, that was a class record. 32.57. And the previous record was 32.83 in 1914, 21st of September 2014.
That's an old record.
But
that's really
it
old.
was done by a Speciale.
For 430. Yeah, yes, it's a 458's beaten the 430. That's good. That's
Fabulous, isn't it?
You'd hope that. Shall I take you through the final class results of the day? We've now got the Classic Marks Speed Challenge results. Rob Pack takes the win there in the TVR, followed by the Toons. Rob does a 34.40, Johnny a 34.57. The other classes that I can give you the results for now, we've had everybody through. Class IB, which is racing cars over 600cc up to 1100cc's, was won by Dougie Cant on 28.22, and in the Little Force, and then Martin Duffield in the Jedi did a 28.99. Bill Drysdale in a class of 1 did a 42.39 in that lovely Porsche replica. In the Ferraris, as you'd expect, Rob Samuels takes the win in the 458 Speciale and the class record to boot. Richard Preece comes second on a 35.79. Richard was driving one of the Ferrari 430s. Finally, Iwan Atwood finishes third on a 38.96. So into the 38s for Iwan in that Dino 308 GT4. A great time there. Finally, in the Jags, Hayden Spedding takes the win in the E-Type on a 35.48, followed by David Rogers in the F-Type on a 37.64, and finally Phil Taylor on a 42.24 in the D-Type. That concludes the day. What a fantastic day we've had. Lloyd, you first. Sign off for the day. How was your day?
It was a great day.
Do turn off your microphone.
Sorry, yes, I was picking these thunderbugs off my arm. They're really starting to annoy me now.
I've got to say, I've been beaten to death by the blooming thing. Horrible thing.
Yes, absolutely. Well, look, thank you very much to everybody for having us. Thank you for the spectators that stuck with us. The weather's been fantastic. Do join us for a drink in the courtyard afterwards. I'll certainly be there. See you tomorrow. Let's do it all again.
See you tomorrow, Lloyd. Mr. Ponsford,
Well, I've had a lovely day for a practice day. It has genuinely been exciting, hasn't it? We've seen amazing stuff, and to see that old Gould at the end was just the best. And I've loved it. I'll be back again tomorrow. Thanks all. I'm signing off.
See you tomorrow, Chris. Finally from me, Billy Grace here in Vauxville. What a fantastic day we've had. Loads of drivers into the 23s and 24s in what is just practice. So that all points towards a fantastic day tomorrow, and also a brilliant one-day meeting with the cherry on the top, a class record in the Ferraris and a demo of that lovely Gould. What a fantastic day it's been. Please join us again tomorrow. I look forward to speaking to you then.